Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Well, with time running out, it's another critical day for the Tigers. The Tigers may be watching the Central Division slip away, but they're still very much alive in the wild card. 3 games back behind Toronto and Baltimore. And today it's the final game in this series featuring the Tigers and the Indians. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us here for the final game of the series. It has not been a good season series, Rod, to be sure. And really, with each passing game, we wonder how it could be this lopsided.
Well, let's just face the facts. I mean, this Cleveland Indians team is a very good baseball team. They have one of the best managers in all of baseball. And then you start talking about all their players. They run the bases well. They hit for power. They've got a good bullpen. They've got great starting pitching. Look no further than yesterday's game. These guys used 9 pitchers and shut the Tigers out in 10 innings. It's a remarkable team. It's time to give them some credit.
All right, now how about the pitching matchup today? Daniel Norris will take them out for the Tigers, and for Norris, it really has been a good year. And typically, he'll give you 5 or 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 earned runs or less. They'll need him again today.
He's legit. In his best start last time out against the Minnesota Twins, he had 11 strikeouts, career high for Daniel Norris. He is definitely a reason to watch here today. You take a look at his numbers overall in 10 starts, a 2-2 record, but a respectable ERA. He doesn't walk very many, only 17 all year. He's punched out 51. This is a huge start for Daniel Norris, and the reason why I say that his team desperately needs him to go out and pitch some great baseball today and somehow, some way win the final game in this particular series season.
All right, now Trevor Bauer is going to go for the Cleveland Indians. His numbers, well, they've been kind of shaky against the Tigers, but we know he's got some good stuff.
He's had outstanding stuff. He's got a fastball that moves all around the strike zone, gets up to about 94, 95. He is having his best season overall as a Cleveland Indian, but his numbers aren't great against the Tigers. Tigers need to stay away from that curveball that Bauer will feature. That's his signature pitch. That's the pitch he likes to get to once he's been able to get ahead with his fastball.
All right, we know the Indians could really pitch. They have been among the best in the American League in that stat, Rod, but they also have had some surprises really up and down their lineup. Guys they weren't counting on having all-star type seasons.
That's a great point, partner. We knew all about Francisco Lindor. We knew all about Jason Kipnis. We knew what these guys were able to do. Both these guys have made all-star teams, but it's their secondary players, the guys they brought in to kind of help these guys get to the next step. Along with Terry Francona, he strategically picked the people he wanted to put in the clubhouse. Rajay Davis is one. He's probably going to lead the American League in stolen bases at age 35. Then you look at what Napoli has done, 34 and 98. The kid Jose Ramirez got the game-winning hit yesterday. That's all he has done all season long, and Naquin is in the Rookie of the Year conversation. So when you have a good team, and you have a team that is winning as efficiently as Cleveland is, you have to have some contributions from guys you weren't counted on having at the beginning of the year, and they definitely have that, and that's why they're taking over the American League Central.
Can we get a win today?
We need a win. We need a win.
Yeah,
we need
just
a win.
One win.
It's our last time here this year.
After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Justin White. But coming up today, it is the final Tigers' chance here in Cleveland to get a win against these Indians. Game 3, Tigers Tribe, coming up next. This three-game series, Tigers hoping for a win today. They desperately needed their starting lineup. Presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Kinsler, Maben, Cabrera. Miggy 2 hits yesterday, one shy of 2,500 for his career. Martinez, and Upton in the middle of the lineup. Ibar playing third today. McCann is catching. Iglesias is the shortstop. They are facing the right-handed offerings of Trevor Bauer.
And Bauer is having his best year as a Cleveland Indians starting pitcher, in 25 starts, 11-7 with an ERA just a shade over 4. Power fastball, 95, 96 that moves. Curveball, slider, changeup, and a cutter, all part of his 5-pitch mix. Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. They've got Geyer in left today. Rajay Davis, a former Tiger. He's in center. Almonte in right. Lindor, Kipnis up the middle. Ramirez, Santana on the corners. And Jimenez is the starting catcher this afternoon.
Well, the Indians have won the first 2 games of the series. We'll see what the Tigers can do here today. The Tigers have Kinsler, Maben, and Cabrera in the first inning this afternoon.
They've got a pretty decent crowd here this afternoon, partner, due to the fact that the Cleveland Browns are playing their first home game here this afternoon.
Well, the crowd's still filing in, so it's going to get a little bit better than it is right now. But I'm kind of shocked. The Browns are right across the street, down the road, playing a home game. But a lot of Indians fans here.
Yeah, downtown jumping today.
Here is Ian Kinsler to get things started. Kinsler at 278, just 1 for 8 in the series. Lights have been turned on here. A few clouds in the area, but pleasant nonetheless. First pitch is popped up first base side. Let's see if there is room, and it's back out of play right on top of the dugout roof.
Expect a lot of that this afternoon against Trevor Bauer. One of the things that he does like to do, at least early in games, he likes to try to bully you with that fastball anywhere from 92 to 95.
Bauer, 25 years old, out of Hollywood, California. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball to third. Right there is Ramirez. And Kinsler is out, 1 away. Here are the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. 75 at game time today. A little bit humid, 73% humidity, but otherwise, as we mentioned, a little bit cloudy. Lights are on, but a great day for baseball. Here is Cameron Maben batting .310. He does not have a hit so far in the series.
And there was word coming out of the clubhouse today that Cameron wasn't feeling all that well, and he may have been scratched from the lineup, but he's got a big smile on his face, so I guess he's good to go.
Knocks that one off the pitcher, and Ramirez quick throw is not in time. That'll be an infield hit.
Goodness gracious, Ramirez almost made that play.
I didn't think he had a prayer after that ball hit the pitcher.
He's just playing out of his world anyway. The ball right off the left shin of Bauer. It trickles over to the third baseman. He grabs it, bare hands it, and flips it over to first base, and he almost got Cameron Maben.
Meanwhile, Terry Francona's got to be breathing a sigh of relief. Another pitcher is hit. They've already lost Carrasco and Salazar.
Well, they lost Carrasco's second pitch of the game yesterday. It was a line drive off of the pitching hand. He tried to stay in the game, but you could visibly see that the youngster was in just too much pain, and it turns out that it's a fracture to the right hand, and he will not pitch again this year.
So Maben hits the third pitch of this game, and right off the shin of Bauer, but he's okay. Here is Miguel Cabrera.
Terry Francona, after Carrasco was hit, it took a while before he came out to the mound to check on him. But what he did, Mario, is he called down to the bullpen. He told everybody down there, put your seatbelts on. You're all going to pitch today, and we're going to win this game. That's 2 pitches into the game. Their manager delivered that message to the bullpen.
He used his pen masterfully yesterday, and getting that win, the Tigers' bats silenced. There's a strike called on Cabrera.
It seemed like he picked every situation. That would be yesterday. That would be Terry Francona to bring in whatever reliever it was to go up against whoever hitter it was that gave them the best opportunity of getting that hitter out. He used his bullpen in a masterful way yesterday.
I think a lot of times managers automatically in the first inning will go to that long guy just to chew up some innings, but this is different here in the month of September.
No, he went right to his double play guy.
Yeah,
Ian Kinsler was on first base. He went to the guy that he felt like would get him a ground ball, which was Manship. and manship got him a ground ball.
Well, that was yesterday. As far as the Tigers are concerned, they have no choice but to press forward today. They are trailing big time now in the Central Division. They are down 8 games with time running out, and now the focus shifting toward the wild card. Bauer with the 1-1, hit him. Cabrera hit by the pitch, and now the Tigers have 2 men on. That ball came up and in on Miggy.
And Mickey laughing with Terry and Brad Mills, the bench coach over there.
Kevin Rand out to take a look at him. Early scoring threat now for the Tigers. Well, apparently that got him on the hand. I thought it got him on the arm.
It's the 3rd batter that Bauer has hit this season. It's a tailing fastball. They wanted to go inside against Miggy, he just missed. And went upstairs, and Miggy couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, those you hold your breath on, because for Castellanos it ended up being a broken bone. Hopefully nothing major here for Cabrera. So the Tigers will have 2 on. They'll have Victor Martinez coming up. And the Tigers trying to take advantage of an early chance here. Cabrera, meanwhile, looking at the left side of that left hand. Here is Victor. 1-for-5 in the series for Martinez, batting .289.
We'll see if Victor decides to jump on the first pitch fastball from Bauer, should he get one. And runners in scoring position.
Ball 1 to Martinez. Victor .322 lifetime against his former team, the Indians, the organization he broke in with, and spent 8 years in Cleveland. Here's Bauer's 1-0, and it's high. 2 balls and no strikes. 3-time All-Star with the Tribe, .297 career with the Indians. Over 100 home runs in an Indians uniform. Infield playing to pull. Here's the 2-0. Ground ball to second, and it's bobbled there by Kipnis. They'll go to second, still get one, and a double play.
Really?
Wow. Hard hit ground ball that Kipnis couldn't field cleanly, and they still turn 2. It'll go 4-6-3, and the threat is over for the Tigers. Cleveland, they will face Tigers left-hander Daniel Norris, who this afternoon is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
5 days ago, Daniel Norris had an electric fastball. He got up to 96 miles an hour against the Minnesota Twins. He struck out a career-high 11. He also has a real good changeup, a curveball, and a slider, all part of his 4-pitch mix.
Here is the lineup he will face today, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For the Indians, it'll be Davis, Kipnis, Lindor. Then Napoli DHing batting cleanup. Carlos Santana is at first base today. Ramirez has had a big season series against the Tigers. Geyer, Almonte, and Jimenez, your bottom three for Cleveland. And Daniel Norris will go to work now as we head to the bottom of the first. Rajai Davis leads it off. First one is up high to Rajai.
First start of the series for Rajai Davis, but he has made his presence known when he's gotten on base. He has stolen a couple of bases and a couple of chances to pinch run in the series.
And he's got 40 of them now this year, 40 swipes, and he'll back away from ball 2.
More than likely, he is going to lead the American League in stolen bases, and you have to go all the way back to '98. The last time there was a player 35 years old or older to lead the league in stolen bases, that was Rickey Henderson. And Rickey stole 66 bases at age 39.
That just doesn't seem humanly possible. And Rickey, a mentor to Rajai early in his career.
He was.
Chopper to third. Nice high hop there for Ibar. And Davis retired, one gone.
And while we have a second, let's set the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health. Upton, Mabin, Martinez in the outfield. Third to first reads Ibar, Iglesias, Kinsler, and the big fella Miguel Cabrera. And James McCann catching Sunday afternoon after catching Friday's game.
Here is Jason Kipnis, the Indians' second baseman, batting .280 with 22 home runs.
He played some kind of game yesterday. Defensively, got a big hit, stole a big base. We were talking about this earlier today, man. They only had one position player, which was an all-star, and that was Lindor in the on-deck circle. But yet, this is a really good baseball team they've assembled here in Cleveland this year.
There's a high towering fly ball to left center. Mabin going over, drifting right in front of the wall to make the catch.
Seems like every fly ball that goes up that appears to be routine when it leaves the bat, the outfielders end up drifting onto the warning track.
Kipnis hit one of those yesterday against Verlander, and now another one that nearly carried to the 370 marker. 2 gone now for Francisco Lindor. He has walked 3 times in the series, otherwise 1 for 7.
And Lindor is 1 of 4 in the switch hitters that Terry Francona has in the starting lineup this afternoon. And he pretty much has 4 switch hitters in his lineup every day. They've got 6 on their roster, and that just really makes it difficult for the opposing teams to match up late in games as far as their bullpen is concerned.
Lindor takes high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Indians have badly outpitched the Tigers in this season series, out-hit them as well, and that's why they have outscored the Tigers 91-40 so far in the season series. Ooh. That is a +51 differential. Hard to fathom, but here we are late in September, and the Indians just keep winning. Norris now with the 2-1 pitch. Lindor swings and misses.
And good fastball there, 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour, thrown by Norris upstairs. Right by the youngster, Lindor.
That's one thing I've noticed about Lindor, maybe more so in this series, is that he does have a penchant of chasing that ball up. And they'll stay up there, but that time he laid off. 3-2. Mike Napoli waiting on deck. Tigers throwing yet another young pitcher out there in a big game. Norris with the 3-2 fouled back. Well, if nothing else this season, and certainly the Tigers still aiming for a playoff spot, they have gotten some critical innings and some great experience from the young guys in the rotation.
They really have. There's no substitute for September baseball, and especially And when you're in a pennant race and you're able to pitch in September, there's no doubt that Boyd and Fulmer and also Daniel Norris will grow a lot from this.
Ball hit to left field, and back to the wall is Upton to make the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Daniel Norris. We go to the second.
Tigers go to Minnesota for their next series. It'll be Matt Boyd starting on Tuesday, Justin Verlander on Thursday. Who will start on Wednesday? Brad Ausmus's not yet ready to announce who his starter will be against the Twins. It won't be Jordan Zimmermann. He'll throw a simulated game on Tuesday. They'll try to get him back to 80 pitches or so to build up some arm strength and some consistency, and hopefully down the stretch get Zimmermann back into the rotation. Don't be surprised if it's not Buck Farmer starting for the Tigers in a rare appearance on Wednesday. Many guys.
All right, John, thanks. It'll be Martinez here to get things started, and he'll send a ground ball foul. And I think Buck Farmer might be a good option for Brad Ausmus. Of course, Pelfrey didn't pitch all that well in his first appearance off the disabled list in his last start. So decisions to be made, and these are critical games.
And Buck Farmer was outstanding the last time they gave him the ball. I mean, he really saved the Tigers bullpen that particular day when Zimmermann didn't go very deep in the game. He came in and pitched some quality innings. He deserved the start.
Well, Martinez up to an Ibar here in the second. There's a line drive to right field, base hit. JD goes the other way. The leadoff man is on here in the second.
It's a beautiful piece of hitting here by JD Martinez, and basically he is taking what Bauer gives him. The count is 0-2, and it's a little two-seam fastball off the plate at 92 miles an hour. But look at the concentration and the head directly down on the baseball, and all he does is create the bat angle to drive that ball the opposite way. It's a beautiful piece of hitting by Martinez.
Tigers hoping they can get to Bauer today. His ERA in the month of September is 6.75, which is the highest of any month that he's had this year. Justin Upton stands in, and he shoots a little looper toward the shortstop. It's going to be caught by Ramirez, the third baseman. I'm surprised one of those guys did not have the knowledge to maybe drop that ball and get two there, because Justin really wasn't running out of the batter's box. And take a look at this ball that gets in on him, and he's not really running. And one of those guys could have simply dropped that ball and then 1-2 second, and then went to first and got a double play. But they're both very young. They probably don't think that fast yet. Here's Eric Ibar. It's not like they're 12 or something.
And brain's still
they're 5.
Brain's still developing a little bit.
Eric Ivar, the batter, hitting left-handed.
No, all kidding aside, though, I mean, that was a perfect play to do it on.
Well, especially since Ivar was, or I should say, Upton was not running out of the box.
Ian Kinsler's done that a couple of times already this year.
Ivar since the break hitting .286. Splitting time with the Braves and the Tigers this year. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Ivar. Tigers had a nice chance in the first 2 on 1 out, but Martinez hit into a double play.
Well, the Tribe, they're going to be leaning on Bauer and to grow up in September and to post better numbers than the numbers you just gave on him. And with Salazar being out of the rotation, now Carrasco out of the rotation, it's just basically him and Kluber.
Line drive to right, base hit. JD goes to second, and the Tigers have 2 on.
That is the second hit in this inning on an 0-2 count.
Well, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. I'll let you go first, right?
Give me Daniel Norris today.
Ooh, good choice. I will go with Cameron Maybin, who is feeling a little bit under the weather. Those guys usually play well.
They do. That's a great point.
The truck is going with this guy right here, James McCann.
They're going with the mechanic.
McCann in the series 0 for 4, but good opportunity here in the second. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
That's what Bauer will do with runners in scoring position. The book on him is he'll go to that cutter, he'll go to that curveball. Very few fastballs. If he does throw you a fastball, it's just to show you that pitch, only to get back to the breaking ball. That's with runners in scoring position.
Martinez a single, Ibar a single. We're in the second, no score. And McCann cuts and misses, trying to hold up that swing. Now he's down 0-2.
Yeah, there's that bender, and that Bauer will feature quite often here today, and it's got a huge break to it. Very tough pitch to pick up.
Here's Bauer's 0-2, and he got him strike 3. Came right back with a fastball after a couple of breaking balls, and he froze McCann.
Well, McCann knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that in a 2-strike count, it doesn't really matter how many breaking balls he's thrown you. You still have to look for your fastball, and you have to respect the fastball, especially when a guy has 95 like Bauer does, or else you're not going to be able to pull the bat off your shoulder if you get that pitch with 2 strikes and you're looking for a curveball.
Bauer usually at 95 with his fastball, although in his last start he got up a couple of times to 97.
Did he?
So we know he has some electricity in that arm, but as you mentioned, they need him to be more consistent. Last 2 weeks of the season now. Iglesias bends away from a bender, and it's in for a strike.
And Tigers do know what I just told you about Bauer. When there's a runner in scoring position, he's going to throw you a curveball. So we might start to see a couple of guys look for that pitch.
Bauer is now 8 of 9 in first pitch strikes. So he's been able to get ahead, although he's given up a couple of 0-2 base hits. Iglesias 0 for 3 in the series. Started yesterday at short for the Tigers. Now the 0-1. Right back to the mound. Soft line drive is flagged by Bauer. And the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left.
Bottom of the second, Napoli, Santana, Ramirez facing the Tigers lefty. Indians went 1-2-3 in the first inning, and Mike Napoli starts it off for the Tribe. He's had a good series. He has homered 3 out of 7. And Napoli looks at a strike, 0-1.
That's a good pitch. Off-speed pitch to Napoli. There's no doubt he's looking for a fastball.
Napoli this year batting over 300 with 4 home runs in the season series against the Tigers. The 0-1 pitch. High drive down the left field line. It's hooking foul.
And he is just hitting the ball a country mile these days.
I mean, there's put it this way, there's a lot of air underneath his long fly balls. And they are towering, majestic shots.
He hit a ball here earlier this season in July that traveled 467 feet. They say that he is hitting the ball further in this ballpark than they've ever seen anybody hit the ball in this ballpark. That would be Napoli. He hit one against the Tigers that almost got up there by John Adams. Remember that one?
I do.
Last time we were here?
Unfortunately, I do remember that one.
A short hop off the back of that wall back there in left field.
John Adams leapt in front of his drum to make sure it didn't get hit.
And you used to be able to throw fastballs upstairs against Napoli, but he's already shown in this series that he's looking for fastballs upstairs against the Tigers.
2-2 the count on Mike Napoli, who has been a huge part of their offense this year. Chopper toward third, foul ball.
What's preventing him from being in the MVP conversation as we take a look at Friday's fastball upstairs? That's from Fulmer too, so you know it's got a little giddy up on it, and look how far that thing travels. Is it just his batting average, Mario, that's causing him not to get any attention whatsoever?
I would
playing
say
on
so.
This team?
Well, you bring up a good point. Playing on this team should kind of trump that batting average because he's had so many hits this year, so many big hits for them. And down he goes as he swings and misses. One gone. Daniel Norris talks about what it's like pitching in a pennant race.
It's just huge. It's everything you dream of growing up is pitching in the biggest game possible, and every time I pitch, I think it's the biggest game I've ever pitched in. But I'm just happy to be going out there on that stage.
You remind yourself to breathe?
Yeah, you have to. You have to go out there and relax. I mean, it doesn't matter what the scenario is, what the situation is. You got to go out there and execute pitches just like it's a football.
Well, here is Santana now with 1 out, and Norris again, one of the youngsters the Tigers have that are gaining valuable experience down the stretch. But not only that, but they are keeping their team in games, and in Norris's case, 3 earned runs or less in every start this year.
Daniel Norris has a chance.
It's tapped slowly and foul to first base.
To be a #1 or a #2 starter in the big leagues for a long, long time with 95, 96 with his 4-seam fastball. There's the numbers you're talking about. 16 consecutive starts, 3 earned runs or less. I mean, you don't see many young guys that are able to post those kind of numbers, especially going up against the kind of big league hitters that he's gone up against this season in the American League.
The other thing about Norris is about a month ago, lefties were batting way over 300 against him, and that number has slowly started to drop. It's in the 280 range now. Here's the 1-1. Driven to left field. It's going to get down a fair ball and go to the corner. Santana's on his way to second. And he will pull in with a 1-out double. That is the first hit of the game for the Indians.
Hopefully that doesn't discourage Daniel from continuing to go inside with his fastball. This is at 94, but he doesn't get it where McCann wants it. He leaves the ball out over the heart of the plate. You can't do that to a dangerous hitter like Carlos Santana that loves to feast on fastballs. You got to get that fastball inside if you're going to go in there. This is the last guy you want to see with runners in scoring position.
Really had the game winner last night, and he's batting a cool .359 with runners in scoring position. And Ramirez 3 RBIs in this series. It's amazing how guys can develop so quickly. I mean, Ramirez last year was kind of a nice little bit player. They had Chisenhall playing third base, and Lonnie has done that as well this year, but Ramirez has just found a way to come up with some huge hits this year for them.
He was their starting shortstop until they called up Francisco Lindor, and then he was a player without a position. But he has played everywhere on the field for Francona, and he has just hit every step of the way.
2 balls and no strikes, so he's got himself in a really good hitters count here with a man at second. One out double by Santana. Here's a 2-0 in there. Strike call. 2-1. Just caught the inside part of the plate as Jordan Baker goes up with the right hand. Norris struck out 7 in his last start. 6 in the 3rd innings. Actually struck out 11, I should say, in his last start against Minnesota. A 4-2 win. He was dominant in that game.
Stuff was electric.
Drill to center field. Maven is on the move, and he'll get there for the out. Well, Ramirez hit it hard again on a line, but straight at him, fortunately. 2 gone. Bring up Brandon Guyer, who was an acquisition at the beginning of August from the Tampa Bay Rays. Indians added a couple of pieces. They got Guyer offensively, and Coco Crisp they picked up as well, but boy, they didn't plan on suffering the injuries to their rotation they have had to deal with. Now Norris with 2 outs.
The way Terry Francona's been using Andrew Miller, he might stretch him out and put him back in the rotation.
It was 5 innings tonight, Andrew.
He's a former starter.
Guyer batting .258. Can play all 3 outfield positions. Good block there by McCann. 1 ball, 1 strike. That last start for Norris, he went into the 7th inning for just the 2nd time this year, and the Tigers hoping he can do more of the same here this afternoon, although Verlander was spectacular in yesterday's ball game, helping save the bullpen. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Guyer. A little bit of power. 9 home runs this year for Guyer.
He's got outstanding numbers against left-handers this year. .327 batting average with 6 home runs. It's one of the reasons why they got him, to help them out against left-handers.
High, ball 2.
Yeah, you want to pitch Guyer upstairs, but if you go up that high, he's not going to offer at it. He loves the ball down in the bottom of the strike zone. And Verlander got him a couple of times yesterday on balls up in the zone.
Justin Verlander had no-hit stuff for most of the day yesterday.
Didn't he, though?
Here's the 2-2. Guyer swings, lines it to center field. Maven will not get there. Base hit, and it's going to bounce over his head. On his way to second is Guyer diving in, and he is safe there, and a run will score. 2-out hit for Guyer.
Guyer got a 94-mile-per-hour fastball that was right down the middle and up in the zone just a hair, and he hits the ball to center field. Maven may have came in too far, and the ball bounced off his body, and Guyer saw that the ball trickled away from Maven, maybe just a couple of feet, and he never stopped running, and he's able to get to second base. That will be an error on Maven. There's that hot zone, cold zone for Guyer. 286 is where that last pitch was.
He'll get himself in a scoring position now for Almonte. Indians out to an early 1-0 lead. Ball 1 to Almonte. Geyer gets his 31st RBI of the season. A couple of hits, including a double in the series for Almonte. 271 batting average. Norris right now trying to limit the damage with 2 outs. Here's the 1-0.
You know, Tigers came to Cleveland on Friday. They had committed the fewest errors in the American League, just 65. But they've already committed 4 errors in this series.
They had 3 of them on Friday, didn't they?
Yep.
Now another dangerous count here. Almonte is up 2-0.
He might be better served throwing something off speed here.
Popped up foul, back out of play.
See, that's the one thing for me that Daniel still has to learn. You've got a base open. You've got the light hitting catcher in the on deck circle. Almonte's a pretty good fastball hitter, and he got away with a 2-0 fastball right there. So what if you throw him an off speed pitch and you run the count to 3-0 and you eventually walk him? At least you're going after the number 9 hitter with a fresh count. And that may be something that McCann is relaying to him right now as he has a little conversation with Norris on the mound.
You see that with more veteran pitchers, don't you, Rod? The guys will get behind 2-0, they'll drop in a changeup or a breaking ball.
Yeah, they won't give you that fastball that you're looking for.
Almonte fortunately missed it, though. Jimenez waiting on deck. Sliced and over the head of the second baseman Kinsler. Martinez will charge it. He'll throw to the plate, not in time. Almonte with a soft single to right field, and that scores Geyer to make it 2-0.
James McCann went out and had a conversation with Norris, and he probably told him to throw something off speed. They threw a changeup here or a breaking ball, but the fact of the matter is the ball was up in the strike zone. Ball's got to be down for you to get the ground ball and not that base hit that's over the head of the infielders.
Well, it turns out to be a big error by Maben because that allowed Geyer to get to second, and he scores on the single. And so the Tigers down 2-0 now with Jimenez coming up and Rich Doobie out to chat with Norris. 22nd RBI of the year for Almonte. Now Doobie will head back to the bench. Not what the Tigers wanted to see here. Down by a couple of runs. They've had 3 hits and an error in this inning. That'll bring up Jimenez. Starting today behind the plate, batting .220 on the year. Two runs on 3 hits here in the second for the Tribe. That'll float it for a strike. 0-1. Almonte down there at first base. It's not really the optimal setup. You got a lefty on the mound and McCann behind the dish, but he has 7 steals in 7 tries this year.
And the Indians like to run. I mean, they lead the American League with 123 stolen bases as a team.
Driven to right field. That ball is slicing toward the corner.
And really the only legitimate base stealer they have. is Rajay Davis. All the rest of the guys are just kind of situational base stealers, but Terry Francona turns them all loose.
Well, you were talking about this the other night, Rod. It's not really as much about speed for them, aside from Rajay. It's just the way that they run the bases.
They're very aggressive, but they are one of the best base running teams in all of baseball. They move up on the wild pitches and pass balls. You saw Geyer move up on that ball to center field that just trickled a foot away from Maben. A couple of nights ago, they were leading by about 6 runs in the 9th inning, and you saw Kipnis tag up on a fly ball to left field and go to third base with 1 out.
And ball is up 1-2 on Jimenez. Indians' magic number down to 7 as they came into play today. The Tigers now 8 games back in the Central. They're not only 3 out in the wild card, but they have company now as Houston and Seattle are also 3 back.
I'm still saying it's going to be a game 163 this year.
You're going to stay with it, huh?
I'm going to stay with it.
All right.
Hopefully the Tigers are a part of it.
You see Houston and Seattle suddenly all with the Tigers 78-70. Baltimore and Toronto both lost last night, so the Tigers caught a bit of a break there. Runner goes, and a ball low, throw down from his knees, not in time. So Almonte takes the base, his 8th swipe of the year.
Almonte goes on first movement, which is what a lot of base runners do against a left-hander. As soon as there's any movement with Norris, he takes off. If he picks, he's going to be out at second base. But if he pitches, as he did there at home plate, it's an easy steal there for Almonte.
Now Jimenez trying to drive in a run with 2 outs.
Mark, did you realize they have stolen 8 bases in the series already?
No.
Did you realize that?
That was number 8.
It's 9.
Well, he's going to third. A swing and a miss. Otherwise, it would have been 9. Inning is over. 2 runs in for the Tribe. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. And by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. The shot of the Cuyahoga River. And right now the Indians lead the Tigers 2-0 as we go to the top of the 3rd. A couple of runs in for the Tribe in the bottom of the 2nd. Ian Kinsler will get it started. Tigers have had their chances. They've stranded 4 already in this game.
Did you realize, Mario, that this is the 15th game that these guys have played this year, and the Tigers have held the lead for only 6 innings?
Ooh.
6.5 innings.
The whole year.
The whole year. the entire season.
It's kind of hard to fathom, but the Indians continue just to get it done. They scored 2 more and a couple of clutch hits in the bottom of the second.
But when you look at all the numbers, and we've showed the numbers the last couple of times at how lopsided this season series has been, and you get an idea that the Tigers have not led very much.
Oh man, now Kinsler is hit by the pitch. The second Tiger hit by Bauer, who is kneeling pretty much on the mound right now and hoping that Kinsler is okay. Well, he got Cabrera on the hand. Bauer clearly upset that he's just hit Kinsler up around the head. He got Cabrera on the hand. And apparently that caught him in the back of the head.
Ian's probably going to try to talk his way into and stay into the game. But Kevin Rand will go through a series of tests and ask questions that they're taught to do and see if he's good to go.
Bauer had thrown 14 straight over the plate prior to that pitch. In fact, he threw 12 strikes in the second inning. All 12 were strikes. All pitches that he threw were strikes in that second, but he has uncorked a wild one here.
And he is clearly upset about it.
Well, there was no intent there by Bauer. He is hopeful that Kinsler is okay and Ian will stay in the game.
And Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach, is going to take a stroll out just to make sure that Bauer is able to gather himself and think about pitching. Yeah, it's another 2-seam fastball that just kind of gets away from Bauer. You can see where he released that ball from. It was a low 3/4 arm slot. He didn't get on top of the baseball, and it's a horrible sound.
Oh, look at Bauer's reaction. We don't see it there, but he immediately went down to a crouch saying, oh my goodness.
As a pitcher, you never ever really want to hit anybody in the head. Ever.
So the Tigers get the leadoff man on the hard way here in the third. Here is Cameron Maben, who had an infield single off the pitcher's leg in the first inning. And he'll fire a strike on the outer edge. And Maben hit in the first, was his first of the series, now 1 for 9. Good pickup there by Jimenez. Bauer in some ways has been kind of a contradiction. He's thrown a lot of strikes, but he's missed badly on some as well, including the 2 hit batters.
And he's also missed his location poorly on a couple of 0-2 pitches.
One and 2 on Maben. Bauer's ERA in the first half of the year was a little bit over 3, but in the second half it's over 5. Clearly he was pitching his better baseball earlier in the season.
Yeah, and Bauer pitched so poorly in spring training. He found himself pitching out of the bullpen when the season began, and he would have been pitching in the minor leagues if he had options. But he had no options left, so they had to put him in the bullpen, and then they had the injury to Carrasco. And that's when he got back into the rotation, and Bauer has been in the rotation since then.
Tried to get the outside corner, couldn't do it though. 2 and 2. Well, Bauer was not happy in going to the bullpen, but as Terry Francona explained to him, Carrasco had to go to the bullpen and he came back a better pitcher. Salazar and Kluber, when they were younger, went back to the minor leagues and came back better pitchers. It's just all part of the process.
Right.
2 and 2. Kinsler at first, nobody out. And now Maben will step out. Cabrera coming up next. And he missed again. Tried to go back outside, but Maben watched it sail wide. 3-2.
Well, you wonder if Brad will allow Ian to take off here and from first base on the 3-2 pitch. One thing I did notice about Bauer's numbers, he has not given up very many stolen bases this season, so he must do a pretty nice job at limiting the kind of jump that the base runners can get.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4 outside. The Tigers now have 2 men on. For this 3rd straight inning now, 2 runners aboard.
Well, you just saw Ian Kinsler get hit in the head by a fastball off the and thrown by Bauer, but it was Miguel Cabrera that was hit with the exact same fastball a little earlier in this contest. His first time up, that one got Miggy on his left hand.
Tigers in this series are 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
And Trevor Bauer has now walked at least 1 batter in 39 consecutive starts and walked at least 1 hitter in 39 straight starts.
He has hit 2 today, walked a batter, and given up 3 hits. And we're only in the 3rd. Cabrera shoots one to right field. That's going to drop. Base hit. They're going to hold Kinsler at 3rd base, and they almost got a force down there at 2nd. So a single for Cabrera loads the bases, but for Miguel individually, 2,500 major league hits now. And they'll take that ball out of play. Miggy asking for it.
That puts Miguel Cabrera in some unbelievable company. Guys that have gotten their 2,500th hit in their 33rd baseball season, age 33rd season. Hank Aaron, Ty Cobb, Jimmy Fox, Rogers Hornsby, Mel Ott, and Al Rodriguez.
33 years, 153 days.
Only 8 players have been able to do that in the history of the game. And Miggy's one of them now.
Now Victor Martinez. 0-1 the count on Victor. Tigers need to take advantage of this opportunity. They stranded 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. In fact, Vimart bounced into a double play to close out the 1st inning. The 0-1. He hit him, and that's going to force in a run. And down goes Victor to the ground. The 3rd hit batter today for the Tigers, and Martinez in some major pain. Boy, Bauer has just been all over the place.
Kinsler's hot right now, too. Has some words for Bauer.
Boy, Victor writhing in pain as Kinsler comes in with the 1st run of the game for the Tigers.
Bauer had come into this contest having only hit 2 batters all year, and he's hit 3 today.
I haven't seen Victor react like this. I mean, that thing must have caught him flush right in the knee.
It was just a couple of days ago Victor got hit in the same knee, right?
Yeah, it was game 1. And Bauer just trying to plead his case, saying, no, I'm not doing this on purpose. And Kinsler's upset. He got hit in the helmet, and now he watches a teammate go down. 3rd hit batter of the game. Miggy's also been hit in the hand. And now Victor being helped to his feet. So the Tigers get on the board the hard way with a couple of hit batters. Victor going to try and hobble to first base.
He's going to try to walk it off.
Well, Vimar now trying to jog it off. He'll go to first. They are still loaded, nobody out. And the Indians lead 2-1. So J.D. Martinez will step in. Kinsler scores on the play, give Victor his 77th RBI. And Martinez had a single in the second.
It's already been a very busy afternoon for the head athletic trainer, Kevin Rand.
He's made 3 trips out to the field already. And we're only in the 3rd inning. Now J.D. Still nobody out for the Tigers. And J.D. snapped his bat. 0-1. Hey, the Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher batter matchup when you look at J.D. Martinez against Trevor Bauer. Updated numbers now. 400 career average.
8 for 20. He singled against Bauer his first time up today on 0-2 pitch. It was a fastball away that J.D. Martinez hit to right field.
Here's the odd thing about Bauer's outing today. With all the trouble he's had in hitting batters, walking guys, he is first pitch strikeout 13 of 14.
Right, I saw that.
It doesn't make sense, not adding up. Little miss high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike.
You watch J.D. Martinez when he steps in the batter's box. We talked about the fact that he's kind of retooled his swing and he does a lot of the things that Miguel does. But right when he gets ready to get in there, he takes that deep breath, just like Miggy does, to gather himself. I mean, he literally took everything that Miggy was doing and he patted it into his swing. And it's worked very well for him, I may add.
It's turned his career around. Up and in on J.D. and the count goes to 2-1. It's got to be an uneasy feeling right now in the Cleveland dugout, especially with the way Bauer has just kind of slogged through the first 3 innings of this game.
And then when one just happens to get away from one of the Tigers pitchers this afternoon, if that happens.
If that happens.
And then warnings will be issued by the home plate umpire, Jordan Baker.
There might be one that just gets away. There's some action in the Cleveland pen. There's a swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes on J.D. Martinez.
It's a good pitch after going inside with a good fastball. He went right back outside with a little breaking ball, a little cutter. And maybe a few inches off the plate. J.D. couldn't catch up to it. It's another hard throwing right-hander in their bullpen, McAllister. He pitched yesterday, but just about everybody in that bullpen for the Indians pitched yesterday.
Checked it. Did he go? Did not. Full count, 3-2 with the bases loaded. Definitely held. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Second of the ball game for Bauer, and he desperately needed that one.
We're going to make that our Bill Tyer pitch by pitch. Yeah, Bauer knows that JD's had a lot of success against him, so he goes inside with a good fastball, then he goes back outside, back inside. So he kind of went east to west in the strike zone, finally getting the strikeout with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball upstairs. It's a nice job of pitching there by Bauer.
Here is Upton with 1 out.
And the way that Jay Up's been swinging the bat, he can get the Tigers 4 in a hurry.
Swing and a miss, 0-1. Upton popped up to the third baseman his first time up. He had a couple of home runs on Friday, and neither one of them were cheap. Outfield shading him just a touch to right field. Bauer about to throw his 20th pitch in this inning alone. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 Justin Upton. The firm fastball there at 94.
Swings by J.D. Martinez, and now Justin Upton probably a little bit too big. I mean, you've got the bases loaded. I mean, now's the time to shorten up and make sure you just put the ball in play. Keep the line moving. Don't try to get them all back by yourself.
Thought about it, but laid off.
That is a cut fastball at 92 miles an hour thrown by Trevor. Former #1 draft choice of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He played his collegiate ball at UCLA.
Here's the 1-2. Way outside. Good backhanded pick there by Jimenez to save a run.
Didn't have time to really get over there and get his body in front of it, so he threw his glove over there and the ball went right in the glove.
I know big league hitters aren't afraid, and they never really are, but with the way Bauer is pitching today, it's got to be an uncomfortable at bat.
Oh, you're on your tippy toes for real. Trust me, it is not a comfortable at bat today. And he might be doing some of it by design. You never know.
Way high, and the count fills now at 3-2. Bauer snatches the baseball back from Jimenez. Kinsler's still hot.
Oh, he's not happy today. And they've beaten you 13 or 14 times as well. And they want to throw at you on top of that.
Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Up and down on strikes, and there are 2 gone.
So Bauer reaches back to get a 95-mile-per-hour fastball to strike out J.D. Martinez, and he comes back with that same 95-mile-per-hour fastball to strike out Justin.
He has thrown 12 strikes and 12 balls in this inning, and now the bases stay loaded with 2 outs for Ibar. He singled to right field in his first at bat. Tigers have the tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. And Ibar is nearly hit. That would have tied the game. How do you avoid this?
Well, Bauer is trying to pitch inside, but he's not doing a very good job of it today.
Here's the 1-0. Way high. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's all over the place.
He literally up, down, in, out. He's hit a guy in the helmet. He's hit a guy in the hand. He's hit a guy in the knee. And yet here he is, a chance to get out of this inning with allowing just the 1 run. But he's got to throw a strike here to Ibar. 2-0. Strike call. That ball looked up.
That's exactly what the Tigers dugout is asking.
Yeah, they're jawing at Jordan Baker right now.
Especially when a guy's been all over the place, as Bauer has been. You cannot give him borderline strikes.
It's not as if Bauer's command has been impeccable today. It's been anything but. Here's the 2-1. Line drive to right field, base hit. That'll get 1 run in. They're going to hold the runner at third, but Miggy coming through. Throw to the plate is not in time.
Miggy ran right through the stop sign there of Dave Clark, and there's no doubt in my mind, Mario, that he could see Dave Clark with both hands up, because Dave was 15 to 20 feet down the line, and Miggy just refused to stop. I was watching it all the way.
It's crazy.
He came halfway down the third base line and stopped him.
I mean, here's the base hit, and it's a one-hopper to the outfield. And take a look at Mickey. Now look at Dave Clark. Hands are up right now. And Mickey just keeps going. And he made it easily. I mean, you don't ever really want to show your third base coach up like that. But it just kind of speaks volumes to what Miguel feels like and knows when he's on the base pass. I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, not only that, but it speaks volumes as to what he thinks about this season series, too. As if he's saying, look, enough of this. I'm coming home and I'm scoring and we're taking the lead. And the Tigers have done just that with a 3-run third. Big 2 RBIs there for Ibar. Blatantly.
Dude,
it wasn't even close.
He had both hands up before Miguel even got to third base. And Mickey just didn't stop.
Well, fortunately, he made it. And he made it easily. Tigers have their first lead. And a chance to get more here with McCann up there. He'll look at the ball high.
Here's one more look at to Miguel. He got a great jump. And that's one of the things that he thought maybe Dave did not see. And then all Clark could do is get out of the big fella's way.
Second and third, Ibar taking second on that throw home. Here's the 1-1. Little dive low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tigers answer the Indians 2 in the second with 3 of their own here in the third. McCann struck out in the second inning. Now Bauer with the 2-1. Missed outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. McAllister has been warming up, and you wonder how long Terry Francona will go here. He's given Bauer an opportunity to get out of this jam.
Well, his leash is long today for Bauer because he had to use 8 different relievers yesterday. Even though most of them just pitched 1 inning, some less than 1 inning. Miller went 2. He was the only one that pitched multiple innings yesterday. The last thing Francona wants to do is go to his bullpen early, but he might be forced into doing so.
Bouncer back up the middle. Kipnis will gobble it up there, and that is going to end the inning. It was a wild and strange inning, but an inning in which the Tigers have taken the lead. A clutch hit. Eric Ibar drives in 2 with 2 outs, and the Tigers have their first Well, after a 33 pitch inning for Trevor Bauer, he gives up 3 runs. Tigers have the lead now, and here comes the top of the order for the Indians. Look out. Daniel Norris, though, is right behind Rajai Davis. To the backstop it goes, and Rod, you are right on this one. Here come the warnings. 3 batters have been hit by the Tigers, and Daniel Norris sizzles one behind the back of Rajai Davis. Both sides have been warned now. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Davis takes ball 2. 2-0. It's getting a little chippy here early in this game. Well, Rajai was not hit. Davis staring into the Tigers dugout. 2 balls, 1 strike on Davis. Kipnis, then Lindor to follow. 3-2. Tigers have the lead. Here's the 2-1. 3-1 now on Davis. Rajai bounced out his first time up.
Well, if you walk Rajai, he's going to steal second base and he's going to steal third base.
Well, hopefully that won't be the case here. The 3-1 pitch. He's going to swing and send a high fly ball to left center field, playable. Maben drifting over. 1 gone. Time for a game break now. Justin White, Craig Monroe. All right, fellas, here is Kipnis now. He'll look at a strike.
I agree with Simo 100%, but I also am under the belief, Mario, had he hit Rajai Davis, he would have been kicked out of the game. Had he hit him intentionally, the umpire probably would have kicked him out of the game, knowing the situation.
Well, and the Tigers certainly don't need that right now.
And they've got a lead by 1 run. They need Norris to stay in the game and try to win a game. But Simo's absolutely right. But I also believe, as I said, had he hit him, then Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, would have been forced into kicking him out of the game because it would have been, he would have known intent.
Absolutely. I mean, after 3 were hit, to come right back and hit the first batter on the first pitch.
Now, had he disguised it a little bit longer, you know, maybe let the game breathe a little bit. Maybe
there's no disguising that,
maybe a couple of innings in. I mean, but the first pitch of the 3rd inning is right behind him.
2-2 on Kipnis, who fly to left field his only time. And he'll take low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Indians got 2 in the second. Tigers answer with 3. A big 2-out hit by Ibar, but the Tigers have had 3 hit batters today, including Ian Kinsler, who was hit on the helmets by Bauer. Swing and a miss, and Kipnis is out of there. 2 gone. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lights. Norris now with 3 strikeouts on the day. Here's Lindor. Daniel has gone to the 3-ball count 3 times already today, but he's gotten all 3 of those batters. Lindor fly to left field in the first inning. As, Daniel got a 1-2-3 in that frame. Swing and a miss, and a big rip there by Lindor.
And Lindor has been getting it done from both sides of the plate this year, batting .301 coming into this contest, batting right-handed, and .317 batting left-handed.
to get back into the seats. 1-2. Sun starting to peek through the clouds now here today. Good gathering despite the fact the Browns are at home as well. Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, hopping this afternoon. Here's the 1-2. High, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nora's had a batting average against of over 300 in August, but in the month of September that has dropped down to 202. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase out of the strike zone. Lindor is out of there. 4 strikeouts for Norris and a 1-2-3 third. Nice shutdown inning for Daniel. Big money encounter, and here is what is awaiting the Tigers. They have an off day tomorrow. That it's on in Minnesota for 3, and Rod, that final homestand of the year should be a big one for the Tigers.
Yeah, 4 games against the Tribe, and then the Tigers head off to end the season in Atlanta, but they also have Kansas City coming to town. Kansas City has played the Tigers tough this year, as have the Indians.
Well, let's see what Trevor Bauer has in store here in the 4th after his 33-pitch second. There's going to be a base hit into left field out of the reach of a diving Lindor. 1 pitch and a base runner for the Tigers. Leadoff man is on. They had McAllister warming up in that long 3rd. Here is Ian Kinsler now. He was hit in the helmet in his last at bat. Right now things still quiet in the Cleveland pen. 3-2, Tigers have the lead. They fell behind 2-0. And Kinsler looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Swing and a miss. Last start for Bauer was against the White Sox. 5 1/3, 6 runs in that game. He did strike out 7, but they knocked the ball around the lot a little bit against him. 5 runs allowed to start before that, so he came in having given up 11 runs in his last 2 starts. Little pop up first base side for Santana. Kinsler is out, one gone. Here's Cameron Maybin. On base twice in this game. Infield single and a walk. He has also scored a run. .312 average now for Maybin. There's a strike called on Cameron. When he first came off the disabled list this year, Rob, the Tigers had him, what, 7th in the lineup, and then he just responded so well. They had a huge first month that they moved him up to the 2 spot. A lot of times when you move guys out of a position they've had success in, it doesn't necessarily follow them, but he continued to hit in the 2 hole ahead of the big hitters in the Tigers lineup, and did a really nice job of setting the table.
It looked like he was right at home. And you said it best. He was setting the table. When Kinsler gets on first base, he's not afraid to take a strike. If Ian wants to run, he's not afraid to hit behind the runner. And that would be between first and second. There's a huge hole right there. And right now for Maybin to hit in. But he just energized the entire team when he got called up.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Lindor flags it. Flips to second. One and a double play. Wow. Turned nicely by the Indians middle infield. Maybin can run, but he's nipped at the wire. Tigers want to take a look at it, perhaps. He's out there, and that's what they're looking at. Out is the call at first by Pat Hobert. See if the Tigers want to challenge. It appears they don't. I'm still waiting. I don't know that that gets overturned.
They're taking a long look at it.
And they're going to wave it off. So the Tigers will not challenge. Still a 3-2 ball game. Mike Napoli is leading it off for the Indians. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, it'll be Napoli, Santana, and then Jose Ramirez against the lefty Daniel Norris. Napoli in his first at bat struck out. It was in the second, and Norris in this game is fan 4.
And be careful here if you decide to throw Napoli a fastball in a 2-0 count.
4 RBIs in the series for Napoli, and he pops this one up foul out of play. Norris, a nice job after the Tigers got him 3 in the second. He got a really quick 1-2-3 at the top of the lineup in the third.
It really was a nice job because really the entire season series, the Tigers, after they have scored, they've really had a difficult time of shutting down the Indians that next half inning, as was the case on Friday night.
2-2. Indians playing to pull, or the Tigers rather playing to pull against the Indians. Napoli, 3 defenders to the left of second base.
Yeah, you might as well go upstairs to something else and see if you can get him to swing and miss.
Here's the 2-2 swing and a miss, and Napoli is out of there. 1 gone.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. The Indians got on the board first. It was the second inning. It was Geyer with a solid single up the middle. Then he got to second base on the air by Maben. Almonte, he followed with a single. The score was sitting 2-0. Tigers came back in the third. Victor Martinez hit with the bases loaded, and then a solid single by Ibar to right field. 1 hopper till Almonte. He hesitated, and that allowed Miguel Cabrera to score the 3rd run of the afternoon.
There's ball 1 outside to Carlos Santana.
And we've seen a couple of fastballs today come out of the hand of Norris where he appears to be trying to do a little bit too much, and his arm is lagging, and those fastballs have stayed away from the right-handed batters. You know, one of the things that they've done with Daniel Norris, and that would be Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, and they want him to land on a softer front leg, and what that does for him, it allows him to get on top of the baseball and get the ball down in the strike zone. When he lands on a hard front leg, he kind of recoils like David Price used to do. Tigers fans that remember how David Price pitches, and he doesn't get the ball down. So everything is about a firm and soft front side for Norris.
Dewey has had to come up with some tweaks in the middle of the season. He also came up with one for Boyd, didn't he?
Yeah, and also Fulmer. There's been some tweaks with all the young kids, and all kids are very responsive to what Rich Doobie's been doing with them during the course of the season.
2-2 on Santana. Norris slipped a little bit on that last delivery to the plate. There's Ramirez waiting on deck. Daniels had a couple of 1-2-3 innings sandwiched around that 2-run second. Outside now 3-2.
Your best option here might be to throw something off speed to Santana. It's a great fastball hitter.
Swing and a miss. Well, the Indians are chasing that pitch up out of the strike zone today.
If you're just joining us, the Tigers have had 3 batters hit already in the game today. Miguel Cabrera was hit earlier in the game. Ian Kinsler was also hit in the 3rd inning, and he was hit in the head. Victor Martinez was hit with the bases loaded. And then when Daniel Norris went out for the bottom half of the 3rd inning, he threw the first pitch right behind Rajay Davis, the leadoff hitter, and then Jordan Baker, the home plate umpire, he issued warnings.
Nothing came of that inning for the Indians. The warnings, though, as Rod mentioned, so both sides have those warnings. Ramirez batting with 2 outs. Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramirez hit a ball hard to center field his first time up, but Maben went over there to get it. 3 RBIs in the series for Ramirez. Sliced to the right side and threw a base hit.
That young man's just having a wonderful season.
Opposite field single, and Ramirez has suddenly burst out of the scene. He's the Chevy Silverado most dependable player. Jose Ramirez, Major League Baseball's largest improvement in batting average from last year.
Take a look at his numbers with risk, though. 359, 315 when he's behind in the count. And just about every time he swings the bat, he somehow puts the ball in play. Very few swing and misses coming off the swings of Ramirez these days.
Here's Brandon Guyer. Strike one to Guyer.
If you weren't with us earlier, we told you that in the first 3 games of this series, which is the final game today, the Indians have stolen 8 bases. And Ramirez standing on first base is a threat to run.
Well, Monte got one back in the second.
And we saw Almonte when he stole his base in the second inning. He went on first movement of Daniel Norris. We'll see if that's the same thing that Ramirez tries to do, go on first movement. Looks like to me that Daniel, when he goes over to first base, he picks that front leg up very quickly, and then he goes over to first base. And then when he goes home, he picks that front leg up a little bit more deliberate. And good base runners, good base stealers, good coaches, they can pick that up. Watch that front leg.
Yep, again, he picked it up quickly. Went right back to the bag.
Now watch this next one when he decides to go home. He will not be as quick.
All right, now if you're Ramirez at first, he's picked over 3 straight times. What are the odds he'll go 4 times?
The odds are not very good or great that he will go 4 times, but it might be good for him to try it.
Let's see if he goes. Yeah, you can see the much slower leg kick there, and he missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. RBI single for Guyer in the second. He's knocked in 31. Began the year with the Rays and then was acquired in early August by the Indians. Bouncer back to the mound. Norris will handle this, and that'll get him out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. To the 5th we go. T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. Here are the other scores the Tigers certainly are caring about today. Baltimore, who is ahead of them in the wild card, they're hosting Tampa. No score in the bottom of the 4th. Later on, Toronto and the Angels. How about Houston and Seattle? All of a sudden now they're tied with the Tigers.
Yeah, and they're beating up on one another here this weekend.
And then the Yankees in Boston. Yankees still somewhat in it. They're only a game behind the Tigers, Houston and Seattle.
Yankees were swept in Boston, or at least they lost the first few games of that series, all really close games.
Trevor Bauer back to work. And Miguel Cabrera sends a ground ball to short. Wicket hop there for Lindor. Throws high, but Santana comes down with it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Lindor lost his glasses. I'm not so sure he knows it yet, though. Ball hit so hard by Miguel, knocked his hat off, knocked his glasses off.
He even take a peek at him before he threw to first base. It's been a strange outing for Bauer, to say the least. He had a 9-pitch first, a 12-pitch second, a 33-pitch third, and then he rebounded with a 7-pitch fourth. So it's just been bizarre. He's hit 3 guys, including this guy here, Martinez, right in the knee. Sent Victor sprawling to the ground. There's a strike on the outer edge. And with nobody on, the Indians are able to play their normal shift against Victor, which is heavy to the right side.
And the shortstop, Lindor, is on the right side of the infield along with Jason Kipnis.
He goes the other way and loops it down the line. Foul.
And Ramirez, who is basically playing the shortstop position right now in the shift against Victor. He's a natural shortstop, so there's really no need to take him and put him on the other side of the bag and leave the shortstop at home like many teams do against Victor.
The 0-2. Three to 2. Tigers have the lead. We're in the 5th inning. And again, he sends one foul down the left field line. Looks like Victor clearly trying to go the other way. Good pick there in the crowd. JD waiting on deck. And Victor looks at a ball that just missed. Bauer wanted it, did not get it from Jordan Baker.
And they're playing Victor to pull, but every single pitch that Bauer has thrown him has pretty much been away from him, which is telling me that Terry Francona, even though Victor's a pull hitter on the ground, you pitch him away, he'll still try to pull it.
Like that, right into the shift and right at Kipnis. So Victor is out, 2 gone. Hey, the Tigers host the Royals Saturday, September 24th at 1:05. Maglio Ordonez will participate in a pregame Q&A session. Final of the season-long celebration of the 10th anniversary of the 06 AL Champs. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. And again, mark it on your calendar. That was originally a 7 o'clock game. It's a 1:05 start that afternoon.
You know, Francona is a perfect example, Mario, of a manager that started in Philadelphia, then went to Boston. He wasn't very high on analytics. I mean, he's one of those managers that managed from his gut. But take a look at all that stuff he's got on his wall these days. He's got numbers galore on that wall.
He has adapted, there's no doubt. You can even see that last shift they played on against Victor. They are buying in to some point.
Indians have always been heavy on analytics. And just like the Houston Astros, the Tampa Bay Rays, there's several teams that are more heavily into the numbers than other teams. And pretty much it's your small market teams that kind of started out in the analytical phase of the game. Now some of your bigger market teams are starting to get in on it as well.
Yeah, the smaller markets, I just guess, had to do it because of necessity.
Yeah, they couldn't afford to go out and get the $20 million players in the free agent market. So they had to build from within. They had to find guys that they can combine in left field, one a left-hander, one a right-hander, and they've done that at several different positions. Some of your smaller market clubs.
1-2 on JD Martinez, and he would not chase high and away. 2-2. Upton waiting on deck. Outside. Well, we know Francona certainly has done a terrific job as a manager in the big leagues. A couple of World Series with the Red Sox.
He was a good player too coming out of college, man. He won the Golden Spikes Award his junior year in college, so he was an outstanding collegiate player.
It's down the line, a fair ball to the corner it goes, and Martinez extra bases on his way to second, sliding in with a 2-out double. And JD his second hit today.
He continues to wear out Bauer. It's the second time today Bauer's tried to throw him a fastball away at about 93, 94 miles an hour. And JD Martinez just took a really good swing at it, allowing that ball to travel deep enough in the strike zone to slice it down in that right field corner. And he was thinking 2 as soon as that ball left his bat. 29 hits the opposite way for JD, 46 right back through the middle, and 55 to left. Pretty much a pull hitter, but he will take the ball the opposite way if that's all you're going to give him.
2-out chance for Justin Upton.
And it appears that most of JD's power is to right field and right center field. Doesn't hit many homers to left.
The Indians pretty much had handled JD Martinez no problem this year, just 3 for 26 coming in, but only 161 against the Indians this season. So he had been struggling, but 2 hits today. The 0-1 outside, 1 ball, 1 strike on Upton.
Overall, in the 15 games the Tigers have played this year against the Indians, they've handled the middle of the order. Whether it be Miggy, Victor, JD, and Justin, they've handled the Tigers of the middle of the order and pretty good this year. They've kept them in check.
And that would be a good reason why they've won all but 1 in the season series. Jimenez held it there, didn't get the call though. Upton pop-up strikeout. 2-homer game on Friday. Trying to drive in a 2-out run. Driven in the air to center field and hit deep. That ball is hammered and that ball is gone. Another home run for Justin Upton, his 3rd of the series. Oh, and he clobbered that one. A 2-out, 2-run shot. 25th of the year for J-Up.
The power that Justin Upton right now is demonstrating to the biggest part of the ballpark is extraordinary. This is a 2-1 fastball at about 93, 94 miles an hour, and J-Up, he just absolutely killed it. And as soon as it touched his bat, he just simply dropped his bat because he knew it was gone. Look at him drop the bat. And he watched it.
And a little slow walk around the bases, too. Five to 2. Tigers now have a 3-run lead. 2-out double by Martinez and a 2-run shot. Look at that hit speed.
How about that? 111 miles an hour it left his bat.
He has crushed some home runs in this series, his 3rd.
That ball that hit right there, that is out of Comerica Park straight central too.
Meanwhile, Ibar caught looking. That'll end the inning. Tigers get 2 big runs, though. They extend the lead on the Upton long ball. His 25th of the year. A 2-out, 2-run shot for J-Up. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Justin Upton putting on a power display here in Cleveland. His third home run of the series, a long 2-out 2-run shot. And now Daniel Norris has a 5-2 lead to work with as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Well, Monte leads it off, and Sky is one in the air to shallow right. JD Martinez had a little trouble with it. One gone.
Here is the Magic Moonshot, and it's presented by Magic Window. You don't have to go back very far, just Justin Upton's last at bat. It's a 2-1 fastball thrown by Bauer. Bauer immediately put the head down after contact was made. And that ball traveled, partner, an estimated 450 feet from home plate.
Whoa! Well, that's got to be his longest of the series. I mean, the first two that he hit were bombs.
He can hit them as far as anybody.
Now with one out, Jimenez looks at ball one. So Norris has been given a 3-run lead to work with. He's retired 8 of the last 9 that he's faced. Jimenez a strikeout in his first at bat. Five runs on 8 Tigers hits, 2 runs on 4 hits for Cleveland. Strike call.
You know, we were talking earlier about all the offensive production in this ballpark this year by both teams. The only ballpark in the major leagues, Mario, with more offensive production is in Colorado, which is what you would imagine.
Yeah, you would.
But you would not imagine this one being number 2.
No, I would think that maybe Baltimore,
Toronto.
There's a ball that bounces in and away.
I mean, there's a lot of hitter-friendly ballparks in the big leagues, but this one right now is playing as hitter-friendly as any in the majors.
Texas, I'd throw that in there too.
I would too.
Upton making it look small. 2 homers on Friday and a monster homer here today.
But it's not just the home runs, it's the direction that the home runs are going to the biggest part of the ballpark.
Slice to right field, that'll get down. Base hit. Opposite field single for Jimenez. 1 on, 1 out. We're at Progressive Field in Cleveland for the final game in this series. And Mario and Rod, glad you are with us here today. Joe Nicholas, our producer. Brian Moss is our director. John Keating reporting with us as well here this afternoon.
And Joe Nicholas, our producer, going back home after the game today. He's from Minnesota. You knew that, right?
From Minneapolis, and we're headed there after this one today. We're going to have the parade, I believe, beginning at noon on Tuesday for Joe.
I was kind of thinking maybe he'd invite us over for dinner or something. You know what I mean?
We haven't gotten that yet.
No, we haven't gotten that in a couple years.
Here's Rajai Davis. Oh, and 1 on Davis, who is 0 for 2, starting in center field, batting leadoff today for the Indians.
It's been a nice year for Rajai Davis. He's a good big league player. At age 35, he's been with a number of teams. And the one constant with Rajai, the thing that he brings every single day, is that speed and that huge smile that he plays with.
5th among actives in stolen bases. Davis can still steal some bags. He'll lead the league this year. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Davis. One of the guys to be featured on the Open today, one of the acquisitions by the Indians in the offseason that really has provided some electricity to their lineup.
Yeah, you have to have some contributions from some guys that you weren't counted on giving you as much of a contribution as several of their players have this year. And Davis is one for sure.
One and 2 on Rajai.
Here's some other ones. And they got 34 homers and 98 RBI out of Napoli. And look at the kid Ramirez. 52 extra base hits. He's driven in 70. And he's one of the best RBI guys in the league, especially with batting average. And of course, you have the kid Naquin that's in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
Ball low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That Rookie of the Year now is really starting to tighten up because Michael Fulmer has given up some runs in his last couple of outings. So the pack may be coming back to him.
You got to get Mr. Ramirez another barber.
You're not liking that too, are you? Is it the cut or is it the color?
It's the color.
I'm going to go with both, actually. The 2-2 Severn foul out of play. There it is. It's interesting. With the year he's had, it doesn't matter.
He can wear whatever he wants to wear.
One on, one out. We're in the 5th. Tigers have a 5-2 lead. Ooh. Boy, Rajay Davis still alive, barely.
Could have went either way.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 ball right there, right on the edge of the strike zone. Now 3-2. Slapped out of play as Davis goes into protect mode. Rajay spent the last 2 years in a Tigers uniform. He has amassed 362 career stolen bases. And when you think about that, it's an impressive number considering that much of his career, or a good portion of his career, was not as an everyday player.
He had good numbers with the Tigers. Stole 54 bases in the 2 years he was there.
Oh, and he lost in ball 4. That one inside, and now the Indians have 2 on with 1 out. The last chance for Tigers T-shirt Fridays is September 23rd when the Tigers battle the Royals at 7:10 p.m. Get a ticket plus an Ian Kinsler emoji T-shirt when you purchase exclusively at tigers.com/T-shirt Fridays. First walk of the game for the left-hander, and again out to have a chat is Rich Doobie. The second inning was a stressful one, and Daniel in that frame gave up the 2 runs.
Kipnis, who is standing in the batter's box now, pretty good against left-handed pitching this year. He came in batting .296 against left-handed. There's everyday Alex Wilson warming up again.
So he begins to heat here in the 5th as the Indians have the middle of their lineup lurking. Kipnis is 0 for 2. Strikeout, flyout. And he'll take ball 1. Norris has given up 3 hits in this game, or 5 rather. 3 have come in the second.
If he throws him a fastball here, Kipnis is going to try to hit the ball to left field.
Strike call. Tigers now have a left-hander, Blaine Hardy, joining Alex Wilson. I mentioned that Norris has only been able to get into the 7th inning in 2 of his starts this year. It's about to be his 90th pitch. Checked it high. 2-1.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. Top fastball so far for Daniel this afternoon, 95 miles an hour. And 74 a couple of times with his curveball.
Ground ball up the middle. Kinsler on the back. Oh, it's through into center field. It looked like he was going to backhand it, and it got through, and a run will score.
It looked like Ian Kinsler was indecisive as to how to play that ground ball off the bat of Kipnis. He came in, and then he went back, and then he went back again and tried to get the short hop, and the ball just got underneath his glove. Just didn't know which way to go initially was Ian Kinsler on that ground ball.
Now it's a 5-3 ball game. Norris got the ground ball he wanted. If that ball is picked, it's probably a double play.
There's no doubt about that. There's a double play.
First and third now for the Indians. Only one out here is Lindor.
This Cleveland Indians team in this ballpark all year long, no lead has been safe. They are 24 games over 500 right here at home, so they play with a tremendous amount of confidence in this yard.
That last play ruled an error on Kinsler. First and third now, one out. Lindor looks at a ball high. Norris has gotten him a couple of times. Fly out, strikeout. Daniel inducing the ground ball that looked like might have ended the inning.
Francisco Lindor has been outstanding in these situations this year. Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. He has 12 sacrifice flies.
He'll drive this one in the air high and deep into right center field. Back goes Martinez to the wall to make the catch. That'll get a run in as Lindor nearly hit it out. It's a sac fly to make it 5-4 and give him another.
Now he has 13 of those, and it's really remarkable that somebody as young as he, when there's a runner on third base less than 2 outs, there's no panic whatsoever. He gets something that he can get underneath, and he hits the ball deep enough to the outfield to play the 4th run of the afternoon for Cleveland.
71st RBI for Lindor. Tigers lead shaved to 1. And here is Napoli.
And don't forget about Kipnis on first base. He has quite a few steals this year. 13. He's been caught 3 times.
Ibar is hugging the line at third base, which has opened up a bit of a hole to the left side. Likewise the right side. An error scoring 1 and a sacrifice fly scoring another. Two 2-0 on Napoli. Norris now at 95. Two and 1. 106 is the season high for Norris, and that was in his last start against the Minnesota Twins.
If he gets us out here, and Brad might have to stretch him for one more inning.
Big swing there by Napoli. 2-2.
Everything pretty much up in the strike zone to Napoli. We told you on Friday that Napoli's an outstanding low ball hitter, and therefore all 4 pitches in this sequence have been up in the strike zone, belt buckle or higher, to Napoli.
He has fanned twice in this game. Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias has it there. They'll get the force. That'll end the inning. However, 2 runs back for the Tribe, and we go to the 6th. 5-4 is our score. The Indians get a couple of runs back. Things getting heated right now in the Tigers dugout. Miguel Cabrera was jawboning with someone for the Indians. He is not happy. In the meantime, there's Cabrera and Ausmus and the home plate umpire. But the Tigers not happy right now. Ian Kinsler now coming out and having his say.
Somebody been kicked out?
Not quite sure if anybody's been kicked out of this game. And there's Ausmus chatting with both Cabrera and Ibar. It's been one of those days. Tigers been hit 3 times. They've been frustrated. They still have the lead, though, as McCann hits one in the air toward left center field. And it's going to drop up against the wall. James on his way to second. He'll pull in with a double. Long run there for Geyer. Couldn't quite get there, and a leadoff 2-base hit.
And McCann jumped on that slow breaking ball. And that Bauer threw on the very first pitch, and he got enough of it to short hop the wall in left center field. You know, for a stand-up double. That was about a 70-mile-per-hour breaking ball thrown by Bauer. Nobody on deck, so Ian Kinsler must have gotten kicked out of the game.
Here now is the number 9 hitter, Iglesias. He trying to get that runner moved up.
You can sense a little rivalry starting here with the Cleveland Indians this year after they've been wearing out the Tigers all year. The Tigers not happy about it today.
Romine moving to the on deck circle, so apparently Kinsler has been ejected from the game. And Iglesias bunts right in front of the dish. He'll move the runner up. Sacrifice move McCann to third. And Romine will hit for Kinsler.
It's a real nice job here by Iglesias. As a pitcher, you're taught to throw the ball up in the strike zone when you know a guy's up there bunting. But take a look at Iglesias. Gets the bat up to the top of the strike zone. All the way up to the top of the strike zone. He creates the bat angle to make sure when he does make contact with the ball that ball is going to go on the ground. That is an outstanding job by Iglesias. Wonderful shot there that they showed you.
So with the infield in now, we'll see if the Tigers can get this run in. Romine batting for Kinsler. .242 this year for Romine. Swinging a foul, 0-1. Tigers now have 9 hits. I mean, for as wild as Bauer has been today, look at these, Rod. 24 of 28 first pitch strikes.
Yeah, he's been good on first pitch strikes, but for whatever reason, once he gets ahead, he just starts to pick. He starts to throw balls that are all over the place. Tigers have been able to get him for 5 runs here today, but they need to score some more.
Swing and a miss.
He loves that slow breaking ball, especially with runners in scoring position.
Romine has gotten a lot of chances to play recently, especially with the injury to Nick Castellanos. Andrews started at third base in game 1, had a double in that ball game. Box down there by Jimenez, the catcher, holding the runner at third. McCann.
You get a chance to talk to Castellanos after he took those swings in that game against Zimmerman a few days ago, because he wasn't comfortable.
No, he wasn't, and I know that he talked to a few guys, and he just, I mean, he could tell after one at bat he had to shut it down.
Right.
And they sent him to instructional league down in Florida to try and get some at bats there. We'll see if he's able to go before the season is done. They could certainly use him. He went around, strike 3, and Romine is going to be out. They'll throw down to complete it. 2 gone.
Everything that he threw to Romine in this particular at bat was a breaking ball that was at the bottom of the strike zone. Finally, getting Romine to check his swing on the 3rd strike.
4 of the 5 Tigers runs today have come with 2 outs. We'll see if Maben can deliver another.
If you're Maben, you could sit on 1 breaking ball until you get 2 strikes. Just 1. Cut fastball at 89, top of the strike zone.
Maben single walk and a double play ball in his last at bat. Here's the 0-1. Well, he is now 25 of 29. But he's trying to put away Maben here with 2 outs and a runner at third.
Bauer has been able to reach back and get 95 today whenever he wants to with that 4-seam fastball.
It's got to get through, go to the backstop, and McCann will score in a wild pitch.
Thank you very much. Terry Francona is down in that dugout, and he's got to be livid right now.
Bauer's just been living on the edge all day long.
He's hit 3. He's thrown wild pitches. He's walked a few. Jimenez, the catcher, had no shot at that breaking ball. And why even throw that pitch after you've gotten 2 strikes on the hitter? You got a runner on third base, less than 2 outs. Tigers will take it though.
Here's the 1-2, missing high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 6-4 ball game. Tigers lead by 2 again. Base is empty with 2 outs. And a foul back out of play. Bauer is about to throw his 95th pitch. When you look at the games that each of these 2 guys have pitched, you wouldn't think their pitch count would be relatively close. You would think Bauer had much more in the pitch count, but not so. And a ground ball left side deep in the hole. Diving stop. No chance for Lindor. Going to be a base hit for Maben. It's going to keep the inning going for Cabrera. Confab on the mound now as Jimenez walks out to give Bauer a breather. So here is Cabrera, who was fuming in the dugout in the last half inning. He has been hit by a pitch, a single and a ground out. Ball 1. And Cabrera looks at a ball high. 2-0 the count.
It looks like Bauer has been a little reluctant in going back inside after hitting 3 batters today. He hit Miggy. He also hit Kinsler, and he also hit Victor Martinez, all on inside pitches, obviously. And since that point, he really has not gone inside at all.
Warnings have been issued to both sides, and they say that once that happens, a lot of times guys get a little bit reluctant to go inside. And he stays away again. Now the count goes to 3-0.
So if you're the Tigers batters, you can pretty much eliminate that inside fastball that he was trying to throw a little bit earlier in this game.
There's action in the bullpen now for the Indians. The right-hander is warming, Armstrong.
Yeah, Miggy not real happy today, so Miggy might be swinging here 3-0, trying to hit a home run.
Yep, but he missed. 3-1. Victor on deck.
You wonder if that hand is bothering Miguel that he got hit in earlier today.
shaking it right now, the left hand, the front hand.
And he had a little grimace as well after taking that swing at the 3-0 pitch.
In there, a strike, and Miguel thought it was ball 4. That was in the upper reaches of the strike zone. 3-2. That means maybe it'll be on the run. And he walked it, ball 4. So Cabrera gets his walk. That'll put 2 men on and keep the inning going. But it's going to be against another pitcher. It's going to be it for Bauer. Armstrong has been warming up. He'll come into this game. It's going to be a wall side windows pitching change here in Cleveland. Tigers have added another. They lead 6-4 and looking for more. We'll be back. Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Well, the Tigers have a 6-4 lead. It's been a chippy game here this afternoon. We're in the 6th inning, 2 on and 2 out, and the new pitcher on now for the Cleveland Indians. It'll be Shawn Armstrong.
And Armstrong has a fastball that tops out at about 94 miles an hour. His average heater right around 92. He also cuts quite a few of the fastballs, and he has a curveball. No slider, no changeup thrown by Armstrong.
Victor Martinez will face him with 2 outs. And Vimart fouls it back, 0-1. Armstrong most of the year at AAA Columbus had 9 saves there and 10 chances. And a really good ERA of 1.84. Three stints with the big club this year, trying to keep this a 2-run game. The 2 runners on, the responsibility of the starter, Trevor Bauer. Fouled away again by Vimart, and the count is 0-2. Victor is 0 for 2 today. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, driving in a run. And it caught him right on the knee. It sent him sprawling to the ground for a couple of minutes at least. Here's the 0-2. Armstrong out of North Carolina. Got to the big leagues initially last year with the Indians. After 5 seasons in the minors. Here's the 1-2. And Vemar watches one curl outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. And Victor loops one foul back out of play. JD Martinez waiting on deck. Tigers have added another run here, and they've scored on a wild pitch.
All fastballs thrown by Armstrong here to Victor Martinez. Anywhere from 92 to 93. Victor's seen quite a few of them already. If he gets another one, he'll probably barrel it up. He doesn't usually miss fastballs that are 92, 93 miles an hour.
Pulled foul down the first base line. Well, the Tigers, one day after their offense was shut down by a lot of relief pitchers for the Indians, they've responded with 10 hits today, including a long 2-run homer from Justin Upton. Tigers bouncing back this afternoon after falling behind 2-0.
Did I see somewhere where what the Indians were able to do yesterday has never ever been done in the history of the game? 8 different relievers, 9 different relievers come into a game and pitch 10 innings and not give up 1 run.
It's pretty amazing against really an offense that features the likes of, well, you know who's in the middle of the Tigers lineup. They got it done though. And Martinez shoots a ground ball to the right side, going to get through. Armstrong will cover though, and they'll record the out. Inning over. Tigers get a run on a wild pitch. All right, guys, as we go to the bottom of the 6th, Tigers go to the bullpen now. Daniel Norris is done for the day. Wallside Windows pitching change. Here's Alex Wilson.
Alex Wilson has been outstanding. In his last 31 appearances, he has an earned run average of 1.59. So every time Brad calls upon him, he's been able to get the job done.
And he's protecting a 2-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Santana, Ramirez, Geyer.
Have you noticed how Brad uses Wilson? I mean, sometimes he'll use him in the 6th as he's using him here today. 7th, 8th, 9th. He kind of uses him everywhere and anywhere in the game.
Yeah, very versatile. Really the same role that Wilson had last year for the Tigers in his first season. That ball belted in the air to deep right center. Way back, and that ball is going to go. It's gone. A home run for Santana.
That is the 32nd home run of the year for Carlos Santana. The Indians aren't going away. You're going to have to beat them in this ballpark. They're not going anywhere.
32 homers, 77 RBIs now for Santana.
That's a fastball that's out over the plate that Santana was able to reach out and get and hit back to right center field.
Here's Jose Ramirez. 6-5 ball game, the 6th hit of the day for the Tribe. Ramirez had a single in his last at bat. One ball, one strike. Tigers have 10 hits today, and their lead shaved to 1. Wilson missing high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tiger bullpen was really good on the last homestand for Detroit, especially near the end of that bullpen. They've thrown, well, their main guys late in games, whether it's Wilson, Shane Green, of course, Frankie Rodriguez closed it out. Those guys have logged a lot of innings late, but this is the time of the year where they're going to have to be used.
Alex Wilson, last 40 days, his earned run average is 1.64, which is the 2nd best ERA of any reliever in the American League. So he's been getting it done for quite a while now, but he does give up that solo shot to Santana.
Here's the 2-2 driven down the right field line. That ball is hooking. Ooh, and it's going to go foul. Just a smidge out in front of it. Fortunately for Wilson. Norris goes a total of 5 in this game. Struck out 6 batters before departing. He walked 1. Victimized by an error in the 5th. Ground ball up the middle into center. And this guy can just hit. Ramirez a single, and the tying run is on.
And he doesn't strike out very often. He's one of the toughest players in the American League to strike out. He just gives you a quality at bat. I mean, here's a 2-strike pitch. You can see not trying to do a whole lot. Get set quick. A little bit of an exchange here. Taking the hands back and right back up the middle.
Brandon Geyer a single and 2 at bats plus an RBI.
And Ramirez is also a threat to run. He has 21 steals this year.
Been caught 7 times.
And you know he's going because they've been running at will the entire series. They have 8 stolen bases in the 3-game series.
And McCann on high alert right now. Monte stole a base back in the 2nd. Shows bunt, snap throw. They might have a chance, and they got him. Ramirez way off the bag, and McCann picks him off.
That's an outstanding job there by McCann. After the ball was bunted through by the batter Geyer, what you're taught to do as a catcher is you simply throw behind the base runner, and he did it to perfection. Miguel Cabrera was there waiting for Ramirez to try to slide back in head first. He was out by 4 or 5 feet.
Miggy just got the tag on.
Ooh, just got it on him.
So they are empty now with 1 out.
It's a huge play.
And Geyer looks at a strike. 1-1 the count on the Cleveland left fielder. Originally a member of the Cubs. There's some action now. There's a Green and Hardy in the Tigers pen. Two and one. Geyer went from the Cubs to the Rays along with Chris Archer, who was turned into an ace type guy for Tampa Bay. And is fouled off at home plate. 2-2 now on Brandon Geyer. Tiger bullpen this year with an ERA north of 4. That one just missed, and that's been one of the big differences between these two teams. Although the Tigers have had some good appearances at times this year, that Indians bullpen has been one of the better ones in the American League. In fact, their ERA was the best in the American League. And of course, their starting pitching before the injuries awfully good as well.
Yeah, overall, they've got the best pitching in the league. And they've pretty much had that all year. And that's having some guys that have spent some time on the disabled list. Carrasco has been a couple times on the disabled list. Salazar's missed some time. Bauer, who started today, he was in the bullpen when the season began. And their most consistent guy is the guy that we saw on Friday night, Corey Kluber.
Lifted foul, back out of play. 3-2. The count remains on Geyer. Tigers fell behind 2-0 today, then scored 3 on Bauer in the third. It was a kind of a wild start to this one. Bauer hit 3 Tigers, including Kinsler in the helmet. Kinsler later ejected from the game. High fly ball, right field, not deep. J.D. Martinez under it. 2 gone now. We check in with John Keating.
Mario Brad Ausmus was asked earlier today whether he planned sort of a rah-rah speech now that the Tigers are getting near the end of the season. He kind of paused and smiled and he said, what am I going to tell them? We need a win? They already know that. Team can look kind of passive in a game like yesterday, the 1-0 game that was decided in 10 innings, but there is plenty of juice in the Tigers dugout, led by their best player, Miguel Cabrera. He has been very animated between innings as the beatings have gone on through the course of this Sunday afternoon in Cleveland, guys.
Yeah, temperature is a little bit higher for this game today. It's all right. Tigers have the lead right now, 6-5. And Almonte shoots one in the air to left center, playable for Maben. And that'll end the inning. They get a run on the home run by Santana. 6 in the books here in Cleveland. And today marks the U.S. Air Force's 69th birthday. USAA honors those who have served in the U.S. Air Force and all of our service members around the world. Here's the game summary today. Justin Upton, a 451-foot two-run shot, was a big one in the 5th inning. Trevor Bauer had some well, crooked numbers, to be sure. And Miguel Cabrera hit number 2,500 in his career. He picked that up today in the 3rd. JD Martinez leads it off as we go to the 7th in a one-run ball game now. 6-5. Tigers have the lead. Martinez, Upton, and then Ibar. Armstrong came on to get the final out of the 6th when Bauer was taken out of the game. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, a little cut fastball there at 88 miles an hour thrown by Armstrong. Real good pitch to hit for JD. And JD just got underneath it. And for the most part, every pitch that he has thrown since coming into the game have been fastballs.
Martinez came in batting just 161 in the season series against the Indians, but 2 hits today, single double. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
And we told you when Armstrong came into the game, he's got a 4-seam fastball that gets up to 93. But he cuts quite a few fastballs, anywhere from 86 to 89, and an occasional curveball. We haven't seen many curves yet. He's going to throw JD another heater here.
Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes.
Let's take a look at the big boys, big plays of the game. And Jay Up, it started on Friday with him, and it was against one of the best pitchers in the game, Corey Kluber. He shot him to right center field in one of his at-bats. Then he got him again to straightaway center field. Then today, he got Trevor Bauer. This one went 450 feet to straightaway center field. So 3 homers in the series for Justin Upton.
.25 on the year now for Upton, whose recent hot streak here the last month of the year has all of a sudden put his numbers back to the levels that many expected once the season was ended. And a lot of that, of course, has come on in the second half. He had a dreadful first half.
Brad is probably thinking to himself, had I known he would have responded like this if I give him 3 days off, I would have gave him to him back in May.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But, you know, Justin, I think the thinking was, look, he's coming to a new ball club, trying to establish himself with a new team, and his numbers speak for themselves. We knew that eventually he would get it going. The Tigers thought it would be sooner, though.
Justin said that while he sat for those 3 days, he had a chance to watch some of the other Tigers hitters. And he said he learned from that. He said he noticed how quickly Ian Kinsler got his front foot down, which he wasn't doing. I'm talking about Justin. That's why his bat was so slow getting through the strike zone. And he also talked about Victor and Miguel Cabrera, just how their timing was on point all the time, and they had great rhythm. So even though he was sitting, he said just by watching his teammates, he was able to learn something and apply it once he got another opportunity.
We'll drive this one in the air to shallow right field. It's going to be playable for Almonte, and J-Up is on number 2. Stay tuned for Lions Live postgame show following the Lions and Titans on Fox Sports Detroit Plus.
You know, that's one of the things I've always noticed, Mario. If you're a hitter and you're struggling and you're a hitting coach or a manager and you give that particular hitter a day off or 2, you hope they don't take any batting practice, but you hope they do exactly what Justin did. Sit down and you watch. And not only your teammates, but watch some of the guys on the other team. And you could pick up little things that maybe you're not doing that they're doing that can kind of help you.
Here's Ibar now with 2 outs.
You can see Wally Joyner down there talking to Justin Upton. He does have the scouting report on Armstrong, but he's only pitched 6 innings in the big league. So what Wally is doing, not only does he have the data in his hand, but he's also sitting there next to JD and also Justin, trying to see, did you see anything differently than what I have on my paper right here? In case someone asks me, I want to make sure I relay them the correct information.
Ibar standing in there with a couple of hits, couple of RBIs. Remember early in, well, I guess April and May, Upton, speaking of Justin, I mean, he was getting beaten by 92, 93 mile-an-hour fastballs. I mean, it just was amazing how a hitter of his caliber got into a funk like that. And all of a sudden, he's starting to hit him 450 feet now.
Well, he had those 3 days off.
Hooked to first. That's a fair ball fielded by Santana. And Armstrong's going to have himself a 1-2-3 seventh inning. Coming up, the McLaren Health Plan seventh inning stretch. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. Wallside windows. We can do that. We are the factory. And by USAA Insurance, Banking, and Investments tailored for the military community. Back here in Cleveland, where it's 6-5. Tigers have the lead over the Indians. We're in the bottom of the seventh inning, and here is the upcoming matchup. Presented by Gordon Chevrolet on Tuesday in Minnesota. Hector Santiago and Matt Boyd.
And Boyd is going to have to somehow try to slow down Brian Dozier, who is still on fire. He now has a 22-game hitting streak. He just continues to roll.
Tigers going to the bullpen here in the bottom of the seventh, up by a run. Wilson is out of the game, and coming in is Shane Green.
And Green pitching in his 46th game this season. He has punched out 55. He has walked 21. He started the season in the bullpen only because the Tigers had a couple of extra days off, so he pitched in the bullpen early, but then he was a starter, now pitching exclusively out of the bullpen.
Coco Crisp is going to pinch hit for Chris Jimenez. So Green will face Crisp and then Davis and then Kipnis.
And with the expanded rosters, and both of these managers have quite a few players and quite a few pitchers at their disposal that they can use in any particular situation.
Crisp, one of the recent acquisitions for the Indians. They got him from the Oakland Athletics. Still hits with a little bit of power.
And Crisp has always performed very well against Tigers pitching. It doesn't matter which uniform he has on.
Green delivers the strike 0-1. August 31st is when they acquired Coco Crisp. Pops that one up foul, back out of play, and he's down 0-2.
And Coco Crisp in his career against Tigers pitching. Well, there you have it. 305 with 8 homers, 47 ribbies. Those are stops. Well, 2 stops here in Cleveland, 1 stop in Oakland.
Missed inside, 1-2 the count.
Ooh, good fastball there at 93. That didn't miss by much. Swing back fastball. Right at the glove.
Oh, come on. 1-2. Slap foul. Coco began his career with the Indians. He spent the first 4 years of his career here in Cleveland, then stops in Boston, KC, then Oakland.
I forgot about KC. He had to stop in KC.
Quick stop in KC. Got some barbecue, then he left town.
Yes, indeed.
Here's the 1-2. He went, strike 3 called. So Green strikes out the pinch hitter Crisp.
It's a nice little breaking ball here thrown by Green after the previous 94-mile-per-hour two-seamer. Comes back with a real nice slide piece with some nice depth on it. You must keep this guy off the base paths. That would be Rajai Davis.
Davis walked and then scored in the 5th. Bender on the outside corner, strike 1. Six runs on 10 hits for the Tigers, 5 runs, 7 hits for the Indians. 1-run game. Tigers trying to at least win 1 in this series. And a ball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. McAllister is again throwing in the bullpen for the Tribe.
Well, Tigers don't have to worry about Andrew Miller today. Terry Francona said he will stay away from him.
Ground ball left side, gobbled up there, but bobbled by Romine. His throw in time. Ooh, Romine did not panic, and they got him by half a step.
And that's the only way that you get Rajai Davis there. This is a tricky play. I mean, the ball's hit to the left of Romine. It took a little bit of a tricky hop on him, but he was able to knock it down. But once he knocked it down, a lot of times what guys will do, Mario, when they're reaching down to pick up the ball, they will look at that base runner to see where he's at, and then you don't pick it up cleanly. He didn't do any of that. He made sure he picked that ball up before he threw it to first base, and that's the only way you get Rajai Davis. Nice stretch by Miggy, too. Great stretch by Miguel.
Here is Kipnis with 2 outs. Flared foul out of play. Kipnis today is 0 for 3. Hit that ground ball back up the middle that was ruled in error on Kinsler, and that turned out to be a big part of a 2-run 5th inning. That'll dive low. 1 ball and 1 strike. 7 men left on base today for the Tigers, but they hold a 1-run lead in the 7th. Good pitch. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Kipnis is out of there, and Shane Green does his job in impressive fashion. 2 strikeouts here in the 7th. Tigers still lead by a run. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire.
Here's a 1-800 call Sam call of the game. James McCann led off the 6th with a double off the left center field wall. Iglesias, he sacrificed him over to third base. And then when Maben was standing in the batter's box with 2 strikes on him and 2 outs, a wild pitch by Trevor Bauer, the starter, and to give the Tiger the 6th run of the afternoon.
6-5. Tigers have a 1-run lead, and Zach McAllister coming out of the bullpen for the Indians.
Well, another hard thrower out of that Tigers bullpen. McAllister has a fastball that gets up to 97. He also has a slider. Doesn't throw that very often, but he throws his curve a little bit more frequently. So basically fastball, curveball thrown by McAllister these days.
Adam Moore will come on and catch. They pinch hit for Jimenez, so Moore, who is one of their September call-ups, behind the dish now, and here come the Tigers. James McCann leads it off against McAllister. 0-1 on McCann.
On Friday when we got here and we heard the news regarding their starting catcher Yan Gomes, who was already on the disabled list with a separated shoulder, but while he was rehabbing, making his final start down in the minor leagues before being activated, he was hit in the hand and broke his hand, so he now is lost for the year.
The 0-1 pitch. Look out, McCann trying to bunt. That ball came up and in. 0-2. Well, we know that the Indians try to get Jonathan Lucroy to shore up that catching position, and Gomes one of those guys that I think flies under the radar and the importance that he has for his pitching staff. I mean, he's a pretty good offensive player, but what he does behind the dish as well.
Well, they really missed him. I mean, as a matter of fact, their staff, when he went on the disabled list the next couple of weeks, their earned run average as a team went up a couple of runs with that absence of Yan Gomes.
Just off the plate, 1 ball and 2 strikes on McCann.
Seems like everybody that Terry Francona trots out of that bullpen's got a fastball in the mid-90s, especially the guys at the back end. But I guess every bullpen's built that way these days.
I think so. I think you'd probably say that about most clubs. Ooh, look out. That'll spin McCann out of there. A couple of balls up and in on McCann. 2-2. Tigers have 10 hits. And they lead 6-5 here in the 8th. Goes without saying they desperately need to find a way to hold on and win this game. Right now the Tigers have 78 wins, and they'll have, what, 13 left after this ball game today. Popped up. First base side. Santana appears to have room. One gone. Tickets for a potential wild card in American League Division Series games at Comerica Park go on sale this Thursday at noon. Tickets sold exclusively at Tigers.com. Here's Jose Iglesias. Jose had a sack which set up a run in the 6th. Also a single, and he lined softly to the starting pitcher. Today was Trevor Bauer. Bauer hit 3 Tigers before departing. Was all over the place. There's a strike. 1-1 on Iglesias. What did you think of Daniel Norris today? He got him through 5.
He wasn't bad. He threw quite a few pitches today. I thought that he threw quite a few fastballs up in the strike zone. I don't think he was landing as softly on that front side as he had in his last outing against Minnesota, where he struck out a career high 11. But he stayed out there long enough and competed well enough. As you said earlier, any kind of start that he can get in September, or Boyd can get in September, or even Fulmer, I mean, it's going to loom large as these guys progress in their careers.
Well, I think obviously getting starts in September is one thing for a team that might be out of it, but getting starts in a pennant race where you know your team is leaning on you heavily really gives that extra layer.
Right. And it also speaks volumes to the skill set that all 3 guys have. I mean, they're not afraid. And whether it be Norris or Fulmer or Boyd, all guys compete very well.
Line drive to right field, and is going to be caught on a slide by Almonte.
What a play, and what a gamble. If that ball gets by him, it's 3, maybe even an inside the park home run for Iglesias with his speed.
I thought that ball for sure was going to drop in.
I mean, most right fielders, even though he's playing as shallow as he was against Iglesias, most right fielders don't go for this ball. But he went for it and made a nice play.
Two gone. That'll bring up Romine batting for the 2nd time. Andrew loops one toward left field. Geyer on the move, stretching out, tumbling and holding on.
Man, these Indians.
2 sparkling defensive plays by the Cleveland outfield. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Cleveland with the Indians holding on to a 1-run lead, but McAllister getting some help from his right fielder and his left fielder. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Indians come to the plate. Shane Green still out there, his 2nd inning of work today.
And those 2 really fine defensive plays by Gaia and Ramirez has kind of ignited this crowd. It was a sleepy crowd all afternoon.
Francisco Lindor leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be the middle of the lineup. Lindor, Napoli, Santana, 3, 4, and 5.
And Green only threw 12 pitches in the 7th. That's why he's back out there for the 8th.
On the outside corner, got the benefit of the call there. 1 ball and 1 strike on Lindor. Hit a deep fly ball his last time up to drive in a run, a sac fly. Way outside, 2-1. Two and 1 on Lindor. Swing and a miss.
Outstanding pitch right here. And a little breaking ball down underneath the bat of Lindor. Lindor's been struggling a little bit. Last 25 games, last 25 at bats. Hope they can keep him struggling for 1 more at bat.
1 for 9 in this series. And he slaps one in the air to left field, but Upton is there. 1 gone. Well, if you're just joining us, here's our game summary today with the Tigers leading the Indians by a score of 6-5. Upton with a mammoth home run and 2-run shot in the 5th inning. They went better than 450 feet. Norris today 5 innings, 1 earned run. That's it, 6 strikeouts. And Miguel picked up his 2,500th hit. Tigers fell behind 2-0 early, but battled back. Here's Napoli. Way outside, 1-0. Napoli today is 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. Back him out of there. It's in a strike though on the inside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And when you get into the 8th inning, there's no batter's box anymore. But Napoli, where he is standing in the batter's box, it looks like to me that he would be out of the batter's box if they still had those boxes down there. He is about as deep as you can get in the strike zone without the umpire saying something to him.
Strike called on Napoli. Now 1-2. Tell by the look on his face, did not agree with that call.
It's a nice job by McCann, ever so slightly pulling it back up into the strike zone. Might have stole one there.
Now time call. McCann runs out to the mound. Hey, by the way, stay tuned for Lions Live postgame show following the Lions and Titans. In fact, it's going on right now on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Lions Live postgame right now on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. Lions fell today to the Titans. Last minute loss, 16-15. 1-2 on Mike Napoli. Belted high in the air. Deep to left field, to the track, to the wall. Upton makes the catch. Whew. Back to the wall in left. Whew. Napoli gave it a ride. Upton went back as far as he humanly could.
No party at Napoli's this afternoon.
Ooh, that just had the sound and the feel of something bad.
Especially with all the home runs that have been hit in this ballpark this year. In Napoli, he's hit his fair share.
Thought he might have gotten it, but he didn't. 2 up, 2 down. That'll bring up Santana. Now, when he launches, you just hold your breath. Santana launched in the 6th inning, a solo shot. That made it 6-5. That's where we stand right now.
And Brad's going to come out now and have a conversation with Green and McCann. And this conversation is pretty much all about Carlos Santana, who already has 32 home runs. So you don't want Santana to beat you with a solo shot to tie the game. If you walk him, it's not the end of the world as long as he's on first base. Oh, he's going to the bullpen. Yes. Still, it still applies, though. You don't want Santana to beat you in this situation.
He wants his closer, Frankie Rodriguez, coming on with 1 out here, or 2 outs rather, here in the 9th. 1-run game, and we'll be back to Cleveland. Francisco Rodriguez for a 4-out save in this one. They're up by a run. Frankie on here with 2 outs, nobody out of the 8th.
This will be the 5th time this year that Frankie has come in trying to get a 4-out save. He's been successful of 3 of the 4 previous times. There's a solo shot that Santana hit back in the 6th. That was off Alex Wilson.
Santana also has a double to go with his homer today. They played to shift defensively to the right side. He looks at ball 1 that makes him move his feet.
And one thing that K-Rod will do, he will not give in to Santana for the most part. If he falls behind him, he'll simply put him on and go after Ramirez. Although Ramirez is an outstanding RBI guy, you don't fear him that much with a runner on first base.
One and one.
One thing that K-Rod's been doing a lot of lately is not so many changeups. The changeup is his best pitch by far. But when he feels like the hitter is up there sitting on the changeup, he'll throw some fastballs, and he's been able to freeze some guys in the batter's box. Guys have not been able to swing at the fastball at 90 miles an hour.
That is popped up. Here is Iglesias to the grass, and Frankie comes in and gets a big out. 1, 2, 3 they go. Let's go to the 9th. Tigers baseball and their postseason pushes with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your favorite devices. Do it now. So the Indians now will bring a new pitcher in. It's Joe Colon. He will take over here in the 9th inning.
And Colon's another one of those guys out of the bullpen for Terry Francona, who has a big arm. His fastball clocks at 95 miles an hour. He also has a slider, curveball, and a changeup. Likes his slider a little bit more than the other 2 pitches.
A September call-up for the Indians in his 2nd stint with Cleveland this year. He was also up here in July. Cameron Maybin leads it off and takes strike 1. Maybin, Cabrera, and Martinez in the Tigers' 9th, up by a run. One ball and 1 strike. Colon nails from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Two and 1 now on Maybin. He's been in their minor league system since '09, but this is his first opportunity to pitch in the big leagues this year. Miguel waiting on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Maybin in the ball game with a couple of singles, a walk, and a run scored. And he throws a strike on the outer edge. Maybin thought he had ball 4. Just 2 steps toward first base. Three and 2. And now he walks in ball 4.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Back in the 3rd inning, Miguel Cabrera singled sharply against Trevor Bauer, and it was his 2,500th hit of his career. Now Miguel Cabrera is the 8th player in the history of the game to get this 2,500th hit in his 23rd year of age. 33rd year of age, excuse me.
Mickey up there with the leadoff man on, and Maybin draws a throw, kind of stumbled back into the bag.
And some other guys that have done that: Hank Aaron, Ty Cobb, Jimmy Fox, Rogers Hornsby, and Robin Yount.
Very select company for Cabrera, who is marching toward 3,000. Way high, and the count now 1-0 on Cabrera, and Colon will get a visit. Tigers, despite the loss yesterday, remain 3 out in the wild card, although they are getting some company now. Houston and Seattle are also 3 back. Baltimore and Toronto lead the way, and that race in the East is starting to heat up for the division. Here's the 1-0. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Missed again. 3 balls and no strikes on Cabrera. Maybin measuring his lead at first. Miggy waits on a 3-0, and he'll take outside, ball 4, and Cologne has walked the first 2 here in the ninth. Much to the chagrin of the fans. Well, the second conversation of the inning out on the mound now is Victor Martinez will stand in. Cologne had pretty good numbers at AAA Columbus at an ERA of 0.82. Vmart today was hit by a pitch back in the third, which drove in a run. It came with the bases loaded. Otherwise, he is hitless. And now there's more action in the bullpen. The right-hander Adams starting to warm up as Cologne has struggled here. Austin Adams in his third stint with the Tribe as well. Vmart looks at a strike, 0-1.
It's a good call there by the catcher Moore. Yeah, because Cologne had been struggling throwing his fastball over the strike zone in the 11 pitches that he has thrown so far today. So he called for the breaking ball, and he was able to hit his glove.
Out in front again, and the count is 0-2.
So a breaking ball followed up by a real nice straight changeup at 83.
Tigers trying to find some insurance here. They're up by a run in the ninth. 2 on and nobody out. Got him, strike 3, and Victor is caught looking.
Wow.
He comes back and throws 3 straight strikes, and now 1 gone.
That's a nice job by the catcher Moore. He called for the breaking ball on the first strike. Then he threw a straight change. He was able to thread the needle with that one. Then he came back with that 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Victor thought it was a shade low, but it was called a strike.
1 out. Here is J.D. Martinez.
And Tigers would hate to squander this opportunity, especially as tough as it's been to beat this particular team in this ballpark. Cleveland is 24 games over 500 at home.
Driven in the air to center field. Ball hit pretty well. Davis going back. Track, wall, and gone. A 3-run shot for J.D. Martinez. And the Tigers get their insurance. Nine-5 Tigers. It's going to be a short day for Cologne.
Very short day. Like a breaking ball that's the top of the strike zone, and J.D. Martinez has had a great day. That's his 3rd hit. He has singled, he has doubled, and now he has hit a big 3-run home run to straightaway center field. And that bench is fired up.
Only 4 batters faced for Cologne. He'll depart. Tigers lead 9-5. We're in the 9th. We'll be back.
Let's take one more look at the J.D. Martinez 3-run home run. And one of the things that we were talking about earlier today is the fact that J.D. Martinez, of the 21 homers he has, 6 have gone straightaway center field, 6 to right field, 9 to left field. So there's no part of the seats and that Martinez can't reach. And there's those numbers I just told you about. Direction of home runs.
3-run shot for J.D. Martinez. Justin Upton has a 2-run shot. That was back in the 5th.
He also could reach the seats in any direction. 3 home runs in the series by Justin Upton. 2 on Friday and 1 mammoth shot here this afternoon. 450 feet over the center field wall.
Tigers now have 9 runs on 11 hits.
It's good to see the Tigers scoring a few runs here today against the Tribe, because pretty much it was the Tribe in the first 14 meetings this year, averaging over 6 runs per game against Tigers pitching.
But frustratingly, though, it's been that kind of a year for the Tigers, kind of a microcosm. They will go cold, they will go hot, they will go cold. Like today, 11 hits, 9 runs. Yesterday, they couldn't get to a basically bullpen game for the Indians.
Right, and they had Verlander pitching as well as he pitched yesterday, 7 scoreless.
2-2 on Justin Upton. 2 walks and a 3-run homer, and the Tigers have gotten some insurance runs here. It froze him, it missed inside. Eric Ivar waiting on deck. And he walked him. It's another walk for the Indians' pen here in the 9th. Their 3rd of this inning. Here's Ivar. He delivered a key blow early in this game, a 2-run single in the 3rd. The Tigers had fallen behind 2-0, and it started to look like it might be one of those days. But the Tigers came back with 3 in the top of the 3rd, 2 of them on the 2-out single by Ivar. That got the Tigers their first lead, and they have led throughout. High, ball 2, and now yet another visit out to the mound as Moore goes out there to talk to the right-hander.
And both Cologne and Adams, both guys that have pitched in this particular inning, struggling with their command. 8 of the pitches Adams has thrown, 6 have missed the strike zone.
Well, fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Two 2-0 on Ivar. Taps one foul, 2 balls and 1 strike. Indians, by the way, in the 9th inning will have 6, 7, and 8 due up. So the Tigers had to go through the middle of the lineup in the 7th. That's good. And K-Rod had to come on and get the final out of the 8th. And he will be out there to try and close it down in the 9th. Runner goes and is fouled back out of play. They had Upton on the move. 2-2 on Ivar. And he missed outside. Full count now, 3-2. James McCann waiting on deck. The inning started with walks to Maben and Cabrera with 1 out. J.D. Martinez hit one over the wall in center field. Runner goes on 3-2. Ground ball to second. They'll only get the out at first base with Upton on the move.
You know, 14 runs scored in this game already today. 9 by the Tigers, 5 by Cleveland. And one of the things that you and I were talking about earlier today is the fact that there's only one ballpark in the majors that's given up more runs than this ballpark. But you would expect that out of Coors Field in Denver.
Well, I think this has been always been a decently thought of ballpark for offense, but you know, certainly not in the stratosphere of Coors Field.
I mean, think of all the home runs that have been hit in this series. Most of the home runs have gone to straightaway center field. I mean, 3 by Justin, basically, 1 by J.D. Martinez. Napoli also hit a ball out of here, hit that one a ton. Santana also went pretty much center field. So it's not just left field and right field, but the biggest part of this ballpark in center field, the guys are able to hit it out.
Strike called on McCann. Well, the Tigers 3 outs away from getting at least 1 win in this series. It would be just their 2nd win in the season series. They still have 4 more to go against the Indians next week at home. Fouled straight back. 0-2 now on McCann. Double and a run scored for McCann. Now the 0-2. Driven to left field on a line and caught by Geyer. So the Tigers get some insurance runs here in the 9th. Couple of walks and a blast. J.D. Martinez, 3-run shot. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Cleveland, we're doubling your pleasure. Lions Live is underway right now in our studios in Southfield with Matt Shepard and Rob Rubik right after the Tigers and Indians end. We will host Tigers Live from here on the field. Our Kristen Keith is alongside. She'll take you inside the clubhouse. You'll hear from Brad Ausmus and Daniel Norris and J.D. Martinez, hopefully after the Tigers hold on for a rare win over the Tribe. Mario, Ryan.
All right, Keith, thanks. Got 3 more outs to get. Tigers don't have a 4-run lead, 9-5. Thanks to the J.D. home run. Jose Ramirez leading it off against the Tigers closer, Frankie Rodriguez. And he'll take a ball inside. 1-1 on Ramirez, who has 2 more hits today. Tigers have an off day tomorrow in Minneapolis, and then they start a 3-game series against the Twins Tuesday night. Soft ground ball to short. Iglesias, and 1 gone.
Big football game tonight in Minnesota. You think we can get in? Can you pull any strings?
Oh, I got some big time connections in a minute.
Huh?
Oh, absolutely. Well, here's what's going on with the Twins. We know, we just saw them a few days ago, but they're 55-94. They got a couple of big wins though against the Tigers in the last series.
How about Dozier? 41 home runs. He now has a 22-game hitting streak as well. Sano hasn't played since he left that game against us.
Yeah, he's got a bad back. So that's what's on tap for the Tigers. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall. He will pinch hit for Brandon Guyer here in the 9th with 1 out. Fouled away 0-1. Frankie came on in the 8th, got a pop up. And now a ground out here in the 9th, looking for the 4-out save. He came in a 1-run game in the 8th, so it's a safe situation for him.
Came in to face a real tough hitter as well in Carlos Santana, who has 32 homers.
Ground ball right side, routine there for Romine, or Ibar rather. And that is out number 2.
I absolutely love the move, though, Mario, for Brad going to his closer in that situation. You knew Brad was not going to leave here and possibly take another loss with his closer not pitching. And that was the perfect opportunity to get Rodriguez in the game.
Absolutely agree. And it looks like Frankie's about to shut this one down. Got 1 more out to get. El Monte, the batter. There's a strike on the outer edge on Abraham Almonte. Tigers 11 hits in this ball game today, 7 for the Indians.
Almonte, one of 4 switch hitters in the starting lineup this afternoon for Terry Francona. Nice little fastball there at 88 miles an hour thrown by K-Rod. Little swing back fastball.
One strike away now. Tigers trying to post their 79th win of the year. Swing and a miss. Almonte strikes out. McCann throws down to complete it, and the Tigers complete a victory. Final score, Tigers 9, Indians 5. Now we send it down to the field in John Keating.
Mario, thanks. Just enough offense, just enough pitching, just enough defense. The Tigers had just enough of the Indians this season. Coming up, we'll talk of and to home run hitters, Justin Upton and J.D. Martinez. Why did Ian Kinsler's day end so soon? You'll hear from the starter Daniel Norris as well as Tigers manager Brad Ausmus as we relive a rare Tigers win here in Cleveland. Tigers Live after a break on a Sunday afternoon on Fox Sports Detroit.